Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a coffee talk. Good morning. We've got Pilgrim, and although you don't see him, the disembodied voice is what are we gonna call him? Astral Candy?
No, low
Yeah.
blow. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't want to call
Low
him
blow, low blow. He's got many names. This man,
Mr.
Pilgrim
Mr. Candy.
From the correct side of the Atlantic. He's got many names. Yeah.
Good morning to Low Blow and to Pilgrim and to all you guys out there. It is coffee talk. We've got Low Blow along because we're going to talk a lot about shenanigans during Tank Fest, which was absolutely fantastic trip. We had a
Which
good
I
time.
deny all. I deny all before it starts.
100%.
I am. Yeah, 100%. It's all deniable.
So let me cover one thing before we get started, since it's a significant event in the states right now. Obviously, somebody took a shot at Trump. All I'm going to say, and we were talking a little bit at the beginning, because I don't want to get into it here, but all I'm going to say is radicalized political rhetoric, wherever it comes from, is bad. Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I'm going to say about that. So please keep it out of chat. I don't want to talk about it. I'm happy to talk about it Happy to talk about it with anyone offline, but not here, because we
Yeah,
are
it's
going
a
to talk.
non-political channel.
We are going to talk about tanks, man. Because somehow,
Tanks and
somehow-
antics.
somehow those aren't attached to politics.
Yeah.
We had enough angst on our trip, didn't we?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
still feels like we were saying before we went on air. It still feels like I'm in a car with two colonials getting absolutely mullered for everything I do and say.
That's funny because
I'm the
I've-
fall guy.
I still feel like we're taking wrong turns every 5 minutes because somebody won't tell us where the hell to go.
Well, it was more than
Yeah,
that,
so
Guido. He was actively sabotaging us.
It was.
Well, I think it was passive sabotage. Really, it was just be quiet.
Talk about
Be
Passive
quiet.
sabotage.
talk about a psyop. So
You couldn't navigate your way out of a wet paper bag, I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
that is false. We did better when we did not listen to you.
There are no witnesses to that.
All right. Yeah, the left side thing, man. That wasn't. I did all right this time. This was maybe the easiest, I guess, transition that I had. Going from
I think
right to
yeah,
left.
the probably the overriding factor there, for want of getting told off, is that you didn't have the house general in the car, so you weren't being napped. That's
God, that might be part of it. I didn't even consider that. That is a fantastic observation.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That
There you
absolutely.
go. Enabled to focus, I think is the word.
Oh man.
Data. I got them in the saddlebags, my friend. They're in the saddlebag each.
Yeah. Yeah. Very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Did you? So did you have two dirty?
Ducardi's dragged it into the gutter already.
Decarde, come on now. Come on.
Come on.
It was at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Just gross. In
Yeah.
a pub? Come on. We're men of
Yeah,
means.
you can say.
We're men of means and culture.
Do
Anywho,
it. Anyway, where are we?
did we lose Low Blow, or is he just laying low?
Oh, I'm still here. I'm just laying
He's
low.
he's cooking bratwurst and burgers at the moment. He's not focused, is he?
The
No. I'm here. No, that's out in the back garden. I'm in the office. Yeah.
the great British barbecue. What are we having?
Well, yeah, it's burgers and sausages today.
Good.
So,
Oh, all right. Let's see, channel news, guys, really quickly before we get on with it. Hunter Battle Challenge still ongoing. If we jump over here to Watt, you'll notice that I have a CS52C. I'm hoping to get some data out on that, although it's only a couple. We'll talk about it in a bit, but you can only pick this up for another about day or so.
Yes.
Almost done with the T832C, which I managed to 1 mark. Yay. Did I? I thought I did. Why is the mark not there? Maybe there's not a mark on the... Is there not a mark on the T8 on the 3D? I guess not. Did I not?
Oh, the skin might have. Yeah, you might not be able to get it on the skin.
I thought they went on this... Oh, no, wait. There is. There's a little thumbs up. Oh, I never noticed that. Check that out.
Well, that's cool.
It's a thumbs up. Why? Is that an Arnie thing?
I don't know.
Huh.
I'll be back.
Yeah, right? I did not know that. Did not know that. All right, and that's pretty much it, fellas. Did not get a stream this week. I'm hoping to next week. I might later today, depending on content creation, because I don't have any content for next week either. The reason I am so far behind is I had to go up to Gainesville yesterday. Sorry, not Gainesville, Tallahassee. Take the daughter up there and find a apartment.
Wow, this is dad duties, isn't it? You have to do dad duties.
I did. So we all schlepped ourselves up there and then walked. Oh my gosh, this is great. So my daughter has it set up for 4 different apartments that have availability that she's interested in. And it's 10, 11, 12, 1. She's got all the tours set up, did all the coordination, emails, phone calls, blah, blah, blah. We get to the first one, right? We pull in, nice looking place. But a little bit run down around the edge. You could tell about 20 years ago it was pretty spectacular. So we get out, we go, doors locked to the office. Kind of looking around. It says open 10. We're 10 minutes late. It's 10:10, so they should be in there. And then they knew we were coming because we'd done all the coordination. No one there. So we sit there about 5 minutes. Girl's like, well, we have to use the bathroom. So there's a really nice pool. There's an outdoor bathroom. They kind of go around the corner. I sit there, nothing going on. They come back. They're like, man, the bathroom is a mess.
No, really?
Oh, hold on a minute. Let me. What on earth?
What's
I've
that watch stream?
no, I've shared the photos from Tankfest.
Oh, Teleo. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, if I watch. Hold on, guys. Sorry.
This is how we roll.
Yeah. I'm trying to. How do I
Crew
do?
chief, I can't turn the shower off. Crew chief.
Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Let me. I'll tell the story while I do this. Where was I? Someone help me.
So the
Oh.
bathroom wasn't very nice then.
Bathroom was not very nice. So strike one. So we're sitting there. I'll just tell this without the camera for a second. I'll mess with it. We're sitting there, and this old lady rolls up. She's got a bag with something, a little plastic bag with something in it. And my wife, being my wife, kind of.
Something.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a minute. My wife, being my wife, engages everybody.
Right.
So she's like, "Hey, how you doing? Do you know anything about the office being closed?" She's like, "Well, usually it's open. It's very strange." So she's around looking at it and stuff, milling about a little bit. They start chatting. "Hey, do you like it here?" And the first thing she says is like, "Eh." And then she launches off on the various, pros and cons of living there. And I start to get the feeling she's a frequent flyer for coming down to the office and complaining or whatever. And then she starts asking us the same questions over again. And my wife picked up on it. I didn't until after, and she told me. She's like, I think she's got some dementia, because did you notice she kept saying the same thing over and over.
Okay.
And of course my wife, she has to share everything. She's like, "Oh, we're here for a look at the place, a tour. When you we all came all the way from Panama City. I can't blah blah blah." I'm like, so they're commiserating about how bad the office
your
is.
ComSec is
Absolutely rubbish. So I'm sitting there with my eyes back in the back of my head, going, "Please stop engaging this woman." And then the next thing, and exactly what I was afraid of comes out. She's like, "Well, would you like to come look at my apartment? It's a 2-bedroom, not a 1, but I can show you what it looks like." And we're like, no. So now my wife's doing the tap dance, trying to not, she finally kind of gets it and stops. And I'm like, "Good Lord." So a couple seconds later, the lady's like, "Well, I'm just here to talk to them." And she holds up the bag, and it's a bag with a bunch of bugs in it.
Oh, there. Oh. Yep.
And so she starts going on. She's like, "Well, I think we have drain flies, but I don't know because these seem to be coming out of my walls." And I'm just like, okay. And then I'm like, this is weird. There's a cop car in the parking lot right by the office. When I pulled in, I'm like, I wonder if he's moonlighting, doing security.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes. Our local cops will
sometimes,
moonlight, and they're allowed to take the car and be in uniform. They're being paid by the people, but they do law enforcement at various places like apartment buildings. But it's the morning, so I'm like, usually that's a night thing. Very strange.
Yeah.
And so finally, it's about 30 minutes, and I'm like, let's just go to the next place. We'll come back here if we want to, or whatever. Whatever. They're busy. I don't know what's going on. Well, come to find out, through another one of them, I guess, who knows the people who run that place, they've been talking on some social media or something. They had some kind of, situation. So my daughter calls up and says, "Hey, we want to reschedule." And it's like, "Oh, sorry about that. We had the cops here. We had a situation." And exactly what Alamander70 just said.
Yeah. That's a whole lot of noise.
Ixnay on the apartment day. We're like,
Wow.
well, that solves that problem
Yeah.
because we're not doing it. All right, let me get this sorted out here.
Did you eventually get her sorted with somewhere though?
We did. The next story there is, and it was just a kind of lovely old lady running the place, and she was good at the tour and the salesmanship of it and stuff, but she had no idea. So all their people are in training, and I don't know if anyone's rented an apartment lately. I haven't done it for 30 years. Back then, you would hand a check and you would fill some stuff out, and they'd do a quick background check or whatever. They might contact your bank, but it was all phone and internet-wise. Now you do everything on the bloody internet.
Wow.
And that took like 2 hours to get through because she didn't know what to do. There was one point where we were supposed to upload financials, because to prove you have 3 times the whatever. Well, what ends up happening, guys, is I'm renting the apartment because, of course, my daughter has a brand new job and can't prove that she can have an apartment. It's insane.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's insane.
And then so I'm like, well, won't let me go past this. I'm 2 hours away from home. I don't have that kind of access to get all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, how do you? They're like, oh, well, just go find a picture on the internet of like a dog and upload it. I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
Really?
Because
Amazing.
the website, how someone had
Yeah.
programmed it, had to have something there to move on to the next page. So you upload. So I found a picture of a dog and uploaded a picture of a dog.
You should have uploaded this. You would have got the rent straight away. There's Pilgrim. They'll rent to you, no problem.
The lady sits down and their internet's a bit slow, and she's older, so she's trying to open Chrome, and she clicks it and it doesn't immediately open it. She clicks it again and it doesn't open. And she clicks it again, and me and my daughter are going, "Stop!"
That's 3 windows. That's 3 windows.
And she'd click something and she'd click it like 3 times. I'm like, "Oh, stop it!"
Yeah.
And she's like, "I don't know why it doesn't work." I'm like, "I do."
Here's the gas. Stop clicking.
My daughter's like, "Oh," because she does that to me. She knows how to do it better than I do. Just moving stuff around, it's amazing actually. Because I'm going off track here, but when we're on a website or a phone, and I'm fumbling around trying to understand where to go next, she'll pick up the spot and the link and the place way faster than I will.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get there,
Yeah.
but her scan pattern on the apps, on the the digital presentation, essentially, her scan pattern is so much faster than mine that it's very interesting actually how that works.
Well, they don't forget. I mean, we're on the back foot because we never had this when we were your daughter's age.
Yeah.
But they've grown up with it. I mean, when I do on the phone, I'm like one finger doing "Hello, mate, how are you?" My son's like, yeah,
right,
doing all this sort of stuff, and I'm like,
it's wild.
I can't do that.
That's too many pilgrims. That's too many pilgrims on the screen, Guido.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
One's enough.
Well, he is.
I can see it now.
He is pilgrim of many pilgrims. Shit, that would be the wrong guy. Good call, low bloke. Good call.
Oh, man. Yay!
Holy shit! This went from bad to worse. Stop. All right. Awesome, and we'll get the pictures here in just a second. So anyway, that was my weekend so far, and my excuse for being behind the power curve. Awesome. The Pilgrim Takeover, absolutely. And that should be it for channel news. Let's get through some missions and specials, and then we'll get Low Blow in here in case he's got to get back to his Barbie, which he probably does. Let's see.
The charcoal's burning down at the moment. You know what it's like with charcoal, Weber.
Nice.
You light it and then you leave it for like 40 minutes to do its thing.
Oh well, then let's talk some Tank Fest. That way, if you got to go Low Blow, that we don't keep you around. And you got people there and all that good shit. So let me add Need to add one more thing here to get that picture up. It's going to be what, an application? Window, that's what I need. Add existing. Boom. A big old Pilgrim.
Are those pictures moving? Because I've only got the one of the M60 at the moment, and that's it. Are they doing anything?
No. I'll select
They will be in a minute.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
okay,
yep.
yeah.
As
All
soon
right,
as
yeah.
I get it going.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. These are some of these you've seen, but he's got a bunch of them, which is awesome. So
Well,
low blow.
he had that awesome press camera, didn't he? Which he must have got from the Daily Record or something. Because it was like a lens that could zoom in onto the hairs on your nipple from a mile away. You know what I mean?
Stop it! You'll embarrass me. I'm sure there are some qualified photographers in the audience.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know whose nipple you were actually zooming in on with your camera, but it was very hairy.
Oh, did,
Oh my god.
How did we get there?
you did.
Oh, God.
You. This is the problem. This was the problem the whole
You.
weekend. This was the problem the
Exactly.
whole weekend. All right.
Exactly.
So here,
Like we are literally 2 minutes into talking about Tank Fest, and he's already onto nipples.
yeah.
What
Okay,
has to be done?
man. I don't know if I should start with this quote first. I'm gonna save the first quote. If you remember what you put first, there, low blow.
Oh, I can see it. I've got it on the phone. Yeah. Well, that was the whole Dr. D thing, wasn't
Yeah,
it? That was
yeah.
all going down
Yeah.
at the same time.
I'm gonna start with 3 because it's apropos
Number
to
3.
Pilgrim talking. The half-sleeved peanut.
Well, it started off as half-shelled peanut, didn't it?
Yes, it
Because
did.
he looks like a half-shelled peanut when he doesn't have a hat on.
That's why I keep my hat on.
So low blow called Pilgrim a half-shelled peanut, then modified it to half-sleeved peanut for most of. All right, what do we got here? Low blow. What is this? What is this tank?
Well, that's a T62.
Yeah, check it out. So that was in the main. I don't know what you call it, museum,
Yeah.
which all of the displays were fantastic.
Gator says that's the same as his garage. He's got no marked tanks on the barrels. No marks on any of his barrels, on any of his tanks.
Nice. Are you controlling that?
Is that what? Yeah, I've got that there. I can,
Okay.
I can cycle here. So
Yeah.
we'll keep going. Now a lot of these there's just duplicates, but yeah, there's the
Oh,
tortoise.
Look at that.
That's it. That's in the cafe. That thing was impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really awesome. Actually, that he was kind of in a corner. Unfortunately, couldn't get very close, much like the Tog was, but you could see it sitting there. It's got the
Yeah.
little gun though.
That's the little one.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a little gun.
Definitely.
Oh, video right
And
on.
then this is just me like cycling. I was just taking a few photos, but this was really cool actually. The whole outdoor thing they did.
And this is the Cromwell or Comet. Not sure which one that is.
That's the Comet, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, the Cromwell's. Well, I don't know. Hang on. They say the Cromwell's got a more square turret, but I think that might well be the Cromwell. Yeah.
Hello, Madam Yorktown. Greetings. Yeah, the
Traitorous state.
the drive-bys were cool. Hearing the tracks clankety clank, the different sounds,
yeah.
the engines. You know.
The
Very
lineup
cool.
actually of tanks where they were entering the arena was cool. You'll see coming up. I think you can see how big the lineup was because they had quite a few tanks come out, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Absolutely.
overall it looked like there was 12 or 15 tanks in the park, before the entrance.
God,
on
at
the other
least there
wall.
may have been more. There may have been 24 over there.
Maybe
They did 3.
Yeah.
I think they did 3 cycles of driving because I've seen a couple of videos and I don't know how many tanks they drove, but it was a bunch. We saw what 10 maybe.
Yeah.
So this is a German. This is a Panzer III, I think.
Yeah.
So we saw that. I think our section was kind of early to mid-war, the early to mid-war section that we watched.
Yeah.
But that might be even a Panzer IV. I think it's a 3 though. No, that's a Panzer III.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But
That
what
thing
a
just
job!
looks so
What a-
utilitarian,
if that was
yeah.
your job to drive those around all day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'd give my
Yeah.
eye teeth for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are all these tanks? Do they all belong to the museum, or do they bring some in from
I
other
think
places?
one or two I brought in, like the FV 4005 is actually owned by an individual. He owns it, but it's part of the refurbishment program. The tank museum.
Well, it's on loan to the museum. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if people travel and brought their tanks there from anywhere else.
Not that I know of. There's been one or two brought in. I think
Yeah.
certainly the FV was. I'm not sure about the others. I think 99% of them will be either owned or housed at the tank museum.
Yeah. So you guys, you have to picture this because we're on a little hill, and I was going to make a joke about a person on a hill, but today does not seem like the day.
No.
But Loblo's got a camera that's
Yeah.
it's like
It's got a lens.
it's got
It's a hairy nipple lens.
at the house he was focusing on the eyeball of a horse about 200 yards away, 300 yards away. Yeah, that's the camera he's got. So it's an awesome camera.
Yeah, you got to look through the EVF, the electronic viewfinder.
Yeah.
Was that the first time you've looked through an EVF?
Yeah. I mean, that's like military grade sort of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe
If I
even
go
better,
to-
really.
If I go to Algeria, they'll take it off me at the airport, like they did when I brought a drone there.
Like, where are you going with that drone? Where are you
Got
going?
no idea, have you, really?
Like, look at that, man. Look how cool it is. Look at the guy peeking out the side of the hatch on the side hatch.
Yeah.
Gives you a good idea of the relative size of the machines too, and that's a smallish one compared to most of them, and
Yeah.
it's still a big piece of kit.
Look at that German weld there in front of the 7.
Yeah,
Well, maybe that's not a German weld. Maybe that's someone who's welded over the top. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe that was
Yeah.
a renovation project.
Yeah.
a lot of the tanks in the museum sort of have the story of where they came from, but of course you don't know the story on all these. But this is a Panzer III, so it makes you like, all right, where did they get this thing? Captured early in the
You
war.
know, these were this is what they used to invade Poland to start the war in '39, wasn't it? So it may well have come from former Eastern Europe. You know.
Well, I think the Panzer III soldiered on for a long time. I mean, I'm sure they
Yeah,
didn't.
because it was in the desert, wasn't it, a lot as well?
Yep, and I'm sure
That
they.
MG42 on top there.
Yeah. I'm sure they fought with them the whole
MG42.
war, whatever they had left. You know, they may not have continued building them, but they weren't in the position to not use what they had
No.
or to retire stuff necessarily. Could have been captured early, could have been captured late in the war. Who knows? Very cool.
There
Oh,
you
there
go.
we are.
Yeah, so that's the
Clementine, is it?
no, that's the M2 light
it the
tank.
Locust?
Stewart or Locust? Yeah, one of the two. It might be a Locust. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's the Stewart though. I think it's the little Stewart.
No, it was a Stuart, wasn't it? M3
Yeah.
Stuart. Yeah.
M3 Stewart.
Yeah.
And they called it Clementine.
Yeah, that's right. They named it because Churchill was getting pissed off with all the numbers you put on your tanks.
Yeah, that was
That's
an
right.
interesting. We talked about that last week, but that's an interesting
Yeah.
story. Yeah, you got to. Oh, by the way, Pilgrim, I forgot to.
Oh, yay! Formula
Hey.
1 CC. I should have put mine on, I never thought.
Stewart's still in service in Uruguay? No shit.
Wow, that's something else, isn't it? Still in service.
Look at that little pea shooter,
Yeah.
that thing. What is that, like a 20 mil, 25 mil
I,
or something?
I think no. I think they're 27,
wasn't it?
37.
Yeah,
That was
37, I think.
37. I think was kind of the standard.
Yeah, 37, I think it was.
That guy's loving life up there. Look at
Yeah,
him.
look at him. Just he don't have to do anything.
You've got to take it that in a space of 20 years, the advance of the tank from, the World War One trench climbing, busting tanks that we had then to the Second World War, in a matter of 20 years, they've advanced to that stage and further. So, I always say that the thing about wars, there's no positive about a war, but I guess the only positive you could really look at on that side is that technology advances so much quicker when there's a war around.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's technology revolving around killing each other.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
So
saying.
yeah, there's certainly a plus and minus. But if you consider the beginning of World War II to the end, and the immediate after, the advancement in aircraft, tanks,
Yeah.
artillery. Yeah, absolutely insane how far.
But
they
it
went.
all does sort of filter down into the civilian market because the engines that are required.
Some of it,
now,
sure,
the
yeah.
Spitfires
Yeah.
and all that sort of good stuff. So-
Certainly in aviation. Certainly in aviation.
Yeah,
100
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Talk about the airliners and stuff right after the war that were developed, and then when you get into the jet age, just revolutionary compared to what it was beforehand. Look at that
Yeah, I
little
think
thing.
you're right, Alamander.
Yeah, look at that.
Right.
You can see the driver in there.
Yeah. And those little hatches, man. That's it. That's your armor.
That's your armor.
Yep.
Oh dear. There is no. Even with periscopes, you can have a three periscopes set up in the commander's hatch or in the driver's hatch. There's virtually no field of view.
Yeah.
You're sort of hoping that the people who can see, generally your commander who sticks his head up like that, directs you properly. I think you get a lot of.
Well,
crap
that was always the
yeah.
commander's conundrum, wasn't it? Do I
Yeah.
stick my head out and get
Yeah.
a really good view of what's going on and completely expose myself, or do we button up and I can't really see shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting. For me, during peacetime, when we were in Germany with main battle tanks and everything else that we were involved with, I'm amazed that there weren't more accidents when they were hull down, when they were all sort of
Oh, yeah.
all sort of hatches down and buttoned up. Yeah.
There you go. There's the lineup.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you can see them all. Look.
they do have a locust Alamander. We did see that. That is a different, and it's got a different hull shape too. It's smoother, I guess I would say. Good morning, Stranger Danger. I am not going to Aquino, unfortunately. That would be cool, but I'm not. So what do we got next? Oh, this was a really interesting tank. If the rest of the series is of this M3, is this it?
Oh, you wanted to go back? Where are you? What are you looking at the moment?
No, keep going forward. Did you take pictures of this M3? Yeah.
There you go.
So this is the one I talked about last week, fellas.
Awesome.
This is the Grant version. So the M3 Grant with the different turret, the British version, which they apparently the story they told was it was one of the first ones the U.S. sent. So they immediately took it out into a shooting range, to a target range, and captured German weapons at it that they knew the Germans were using.
Yep.
To see what the armor would do. And you will notice,
that's right, yeah.
you will notice those are not rivets or just pimples that you see.
No.
If we get a closer thing, these are holes.
I'll get a closer one, yeah. It'll come around here. Oh yeah, you can see the turret there.
Yeah, so it looks like a piece of Swiss cheese. And what they did is they put clearly a newer hole on the very bottom. The drivetrain's probably a newer piece, or undamaged, let's put it that way.
Well, you could see it because there was a slight difference in the metal close up, wasn't
Yeah, so they took
Remember
the
we
bottom
got
off of
close
something
to it?
else and welded the top onto it and got it running again, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
They
It's
are
amazing.
Stranger Danger. They're shots from the weapons, whether they were attached to the German tanks or not. But it was on a target range done by the Brits to test the armor and see what it could handle. Yeah, good ventilation. Those are vents. That's a vent modification.
Put
Look
it
at
this
that gun
way,
on the
the driver
chassis,
had
it's only
plenty
got
of field
elevation.
of view, didn't he?
Well, the good news on that tank is it didn't have any trouble when it buttoned up. You had plenty of peepholes to look out of.
I can see him out there. Oh, I can see him in that one. Yeah, that was cool, Mr. Stranger Danger. It was really cool close up because afterwards you could walk round the compound where they were all parked up.
All right.
To go into that arena, so we had to walk around. It was quite cool up close.
Hold
I
on.
think we might have
Hold on a
bunch of that
second.
arena.
Hold on a sec. Stop moving it just for a second. All right, fellas. What is this? I'm gonna give it a few seconds because of the delay. What tank is this before he gets too close? It is, but it's a specific one. Rather famous
yeah.
one. Rather famous
Yeah.
one.
Come on, Alamander, you know what this is. Come on, guys, you know what this is.
Cliffy's not here. Cliffy's not here, so Descartes got it. Fury. That's the actual tank from the movie Fury.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's 2 marked as well, isn't it? Was it 3 marked?
I don't remember. Yeah, it might be 2 or 3. I don't know. All right, Lobo, fire away, man. That's cool. These are great picks, by the way. Thanks to Lobo
Oh,
for
no worries.
bringing this in.
No worries.
Very cool because they had put all the stuff back on it. I don't know if normally this one is displayed somewhere or not. I didn't see a spot in the museum where it might be. I don't know.
No, to be fair, Guido, the museum has significantly changed since the last time I was down there. I was down there some 5 or 6 years ago
Yeah.
to walk the museum, and it was radically different. And so I'm not sure if those that were on the arena have a display inside the museum, because you can see when we walk around, it was fairly rammed anyway. It was chock-a-block with
It
tanks,
was.
so-
It was crazy. Actually, I didn't expect that. They wedged so much stuff in that hangar. Have a look at this here on the front. They put a helmet on this little
Yeah.
head here.
Yes.
Now, the trip, going back to the trip for a second here, was great. But we noted, the three of us, that it felt a lot like what we would call a TDY, a temporary duty. I don't know what you guys necessarily call it. Probably two different things, because one's an Aussie and one's a Brit. But it really felt like an op that we were all put out on, because multiple things happen that you always find during a TDY. And the next one here is a statement from Low Blow. You get the meal, I'll get the fuel.
Yeah, that was so true, wasn't it? Yeah.
The first half,
Determined by an Aussie.
first half, which happened, I got the meal.
You did. Well, we shared it, Guido. Me and you shared the car.
Yes,
didn't
we did,
Yeah.
and when
Yeah.
it came, and so we needed fuel, and it was late at night, dodgy part of Bournemouth. You know,
very dodgy. Yeah.
they'd rolled up the carpets. We'd
Yeah.
nearly come to fisticuffs, although to be fair, that wasn't outside of the venue; it was inside of the venue.
With that drunk.
And
Drunken nerd.
at the pump, getting ready to go in and pay for it,
Yeah.
Low Blow says, "I forgot my wallet."
Yeah. For the whole trip.
You get
And do you know what I realized? Do you know what I realized afterwards? You know where that wallet was? It was in the boot in my binoculars case.
Of course it was.
I've been wearing on my chest at
course
Tank
it was.
Fest.
Yes. I'll never trust an Aussie ever again. I tell you.
that was a long walk back there to get that out. So I'm glad we
You
saved
get the
time.
meal, I'll get the fuel, and then can you please get the fuel? That's how that played out.
It was. Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I reckon, Guido, what do you think? I reckon that Low Blow already knew he didn't have his wallet with him when he suggested we
Oh,
pay
no,
for the
no, no,
food.
no.
He
No,
did.
that's not
He
true.
did.
I'm not
I-
sneaky like you, Pilgrim. Oh my god. We saw your active sabotage attempts with the navigation. You call it passive.
I was just
I
letting
maintain
two, I
that
was
you are.
letting two commissioned officers do their thing. I mean, you take charge and you do your thing. Why do you need an
Oh my
on-com?
God. Yeah.
Wait,
You
whoa,
need
whoa,
that
hold on.
t-shirt. You need that T-shirt that's down at point number 8, which says, "In my defense, I was left unsupervised."
Now,
Exactly.
I something just came to me, and I don't know why I didn't realize it at the time or even in the intervening time frame, but we were actually missing a very important piece of our operation. And it may explain why the NCOs and the officers were having an issue. We were rank heavy.
You were.
All right.
Yeah.
We did not actually have a driver.
No, that was the problem.
If we'd have had just a straight up buck sergeant or a private or a corporal or something
Corporal, yeah.
driving,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
all of our genius leadership would have naturally flowed onto him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
I did not. 'Cause we were top heavy in rank structure. That was
I felt so outnumbered. I thought I'd just let you guys get on with it because I thought there's no point. I can be the crew
Yeah.
chief, but you guys
Yeah.
are not listening to me because you're pilots.
But
Do what you wanna do.
you're useless as a crew chief. You've aged out of that. You manage crew chiefs. You're 10 years.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
10 years from any skill, and we never had
I can't
any.
remember. I
You're-
do not remember crew chiefing at all.
You're 10 years from any skill, and we never had any. So there was no current capability involved in the entire op.
No.
Well,
I
also
always thought
the other
just
thing,
point
the other
and
thing,
go.
from his back seat being chauffeured around by us, his priority was not the team or the objective; it was his own entertainment, and he would watch a road sign go past for an exit that we both missed, and he would sit
Yeah.
there for the next 5 minutes in silence until we realized we'd fucked up, and at that point he would just start cackling.
Much like he's doing now.
It is so funny.
Pretty much exactly like he's doing right now. The best part
Right.
was the 10 minutes through the middle of the town we didn't need to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it was
yeah.
a
When we
scenic
actually
route.
took a tour through Cambridge, exactly,
Although we
which added
s-
15 minutes.
although we saw a famous person. Who was that guy? The guy with the, you said that's the guy that does some kind of YouTube thing or something? Pilgrim?
Oh, that was. Oh.
What
God,
was
who
it?
that now? Yeah, I can't remember now.
Some Brit
It's
that
a
does.
week and a half.
Was it like a foodie or something? He does food things?
Oh
or?
yeah, no, he. I know he was. It's the piano guy who plays the
I-
piano.
Not a food guy.
At a rail station.
The one that recently was
Yeah.
irritating Chinese people and
Yeah,
then
that's
continued
the
to
one,
irritate
yeah.
authorities who then wanted him not to play the piano, but he wanted to. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
We saw that guy
That
walking
guy.
on the
Yeah,
street.
he went across the zebra crossing and went past us.
Yep.
Oh,
And about 3 buses worth of Chinese tourists.
yes. All pointing at him, going, "That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one."
Which brings me
I
now.
think
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you touched on the in the last episode you touched on the guy that we nearly had the fight with
Yeah.
in the conference, and it led to one of the funniest quotes on the whole trip.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion,
Yeah.
because when this guy reapproached us and he was making a beeline for me, at the time I was holding a little 2 little tanks that had been gifted to me by Pilgrim when he won the door prize for my 4-year-old, and this guy who we'd nearly had an altercation with, who departed and then decided to come back, was making a beeline for me, and I said at that point in time, this isn't the moment to be really holding anything in my hand, so I dropped the tanks on the floor, which led to the quote, "Hold my toys."
Yeah. Not hold the beer, hold my toys. Oh man.
I mean,
Had
we
some stitches for a good old while, that one did.
Low Blow was about ready to go into combat, right?
He was, yeah.
And
He was
in
there,
in freeing himself up for whatever motion was required, the manly man needed somebody to hold his toys for a moment.
yeah.
Hold my toys.
Yeah.
Boys, I'm about to go into combat. Hold my toys.
What a ridiculous
That
thing that
conjures up
was.
too many bad images, that does. Don't you? We need to get away from that.
I mean, the fact that we were in a big nerd conference, about a tank video game, just sets the stage for all kinds of stupid.
Of course it does. Do you know what we need?
That dude had a
on the
shirt.
sound.
That dude had a shirt that said "Hello, I'm British." Remember the shoot? That's what he put
Yes.
on his.
Yeah.
It said "Hello, I'm British," and then he shows up rat-faced drunk, and I don't know how he got there because we'd only been there an hour.
No, yeah.
Right.
He must have been
How-
absolutely tanking it. Yeah.
Maybe he came that
had-
way.
It's free. Yeah.
He had pre-drinks. He had pre-drinks for sure.
Jimmy K in the house. Hello, buddy.
Yeah, so that's another.
What what he did not realise, and will never realise unless he watches this, is that he was so close to a world of pain. So close, because there was 3 retired military guys who had seen a bit and done a bit, and if we'd got hold of the fella, I think he would have been in a world of pain for a long time to come.
Well,
So, he was
Pilgrim's
lucky.
Pilgrim's half smile and stare, which I had not seen before. And
That was kind of terrifying.
and-
Why?
like very quietly just looking at the guy and not saying the word. The guy continued to talk. I'm like, that is what happened right before he attempted to pull the nailed down bar stool off the floor. Now, to be
Yeah.
fair, you lost that one, but you and your mates, and then Low Blow, it was written all over Low Blow's face.
He was doing a countdown, Guido.
He
doing a
was.
countdown
He
in
was.
his head.
I could see the struggle to maintain. And once he dropped the toy and the fist balled up, I'm like, oh, this is happening.
Yeah, it wasn't a time to be holding a panther.
No, no.
Definitely wasn't.
I mean, and to be completely fair, literally, we were just standing there.
We didn't do anything.
We hadn't even. I didn't even know the guy was there until he rolled right up. And that brings us to the other quote, which he kept saying. He's like, "Shake my hand," and this is where it all happened. Because he wanted to. He's like, "Hey guys, shake my hand," and Pilgrim's like, "Nope."
I don't know. I didn't know who he was. I wouldn't shake his hand, would you?
Well, we just watched him try to hug that girl and bother the shit out of her, and she's trying to get him to leave her alone. Oh my
Do
god.
you know, the best part for me was the fact that he was probably my height, and then he turned to you, and basically you had to lean over him like a towering giant that you are, and you just went F off.
Yeah.
I thought,
That
"Did you
was
not get the
those were
message
the
at that
only
point?"
words that Guido had for him was just "f off,"
F
and
off.
you said it a few times, and he wasn't really getting the
He wasn't
message. And
getting
then
it, was he?
No,
You're going to continue
no.
the motion when 6'2" is leaning over you.
Well,
That's
he-
his problem.
He started at Pilgrim, went left to low blow, and then decided to try me. I'm like, dude, what are you not getting, man? It's just go away. But he was hammered, which then brings us to another another quote of the weekend, which was, in my defense, I was left unsupervised.
Yeah.
Now this is going to go back to a story Low Blow had about his kid, which we won't recount here. But
But it was
Yeah,
a highlight
sure.
of the trip. It was a highlight.
it was a highlight. It was a highlight.
Yeah. I got some news from the missus that he'd been misbehaving at school,
Yeah.
but, in an exploratory fashion with another child. So that was fun to get that news at Tankfest.
To be fair, he was unsupervised.
He was left unsupervised, which he literally was, and that was part of the problem. Then we get another one, which is great. As we went in, so we were discussing the party itself, which was cool. Good on Wargaming. Thank you for inviting us, bringing us in, all that good stuff. There was food, there was music. It was interesting. We met a few people. That was fun. I did enjoy that. But we knew going down there, and we weren't sure we were going to go, but we did, which I'm glad we did.
Yeah.
But the quote is, "We're going to encounter some pronouns today."
Yes, that was a good quote on it. Having been to Bournemouth as well, and having walked around the seaside and the beach, you're thinking, there's a lot of pronouns here, isn't there?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we actually called it. And then when we were in Tankfest, we saw the brigade wearing the long coats and the wristbands advertising that they were the holder of a pronoun. Yeah.
So that was the weirdest group we saw, because those were German trench coats. So
Yeah.
they're what, like proto-Nazi pronoun people? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
They
The
all
two-
wanted to ride in a stug.
The two didn't seem to go together. The outside
No.
appearance, I'm like, I don't know what is happening here.
Yeah, black trench coat with a rainbow wristband. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
it sort of does.
right, and a lot of
It's
dark makeup and long greasy hair, and probably hadn't eaten
Yeah.
a vegetable in ever, more than likely.
What they lacked was one of these.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
They needed
With a
one of
ra-
these, didn't they?
with a rainbow skull on the front of it, though,
Yeah,
Pilgrim.
Not with that.
I mean, I have a bad feeling that was in the car somewhere.
Yeah, it was. Just in case.
Yeah, and we said when we went into that, we said, I said there's going to be, we all said it, but essentially it was something like, if there's fuckery involved in here, it will be from alcohol.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
I did say
Because it was
that.
free.
Yeah.
Free bar.
Yeah,
That's-
nerd raged
Yeah.
alcohol, and he wasn't raging. He was just a moron. He was
Well,
trying.
just-
He was trying to be
just
nice,
didn't
but
understand
nobody.
where-
Yeah, we didn't want him. Anyway,
But one thing I was
Hey,
going to say actually,
give
one
me
thing I was
not
going to
me.
say was hats off to Wargaming for putting that on, because that surprised all of us, didn't it?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
what the extent they went to
Yeah.
to put that on. I know obviously there's a lot in it for them, but yeah, that was, they did a good job there. When we
I was
I honestly
surprised.
expected some biscuits on a table in a
Yeah,
conference room
yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
That's what I expected, and it wasn't
But I
that.
was very surprised at the small number of people there overall. If you imagine Wargaming free event, well, Tank Fest, there could have been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there, but it wasn't like 1,000 people there, was it? There was
No.
a couple of hundred, wasn't there?
couple hundred. Yeah, I thought by the end of it there was quite a few, but it certainly wasn't packed out. It was a big venue though, I think, for that type of event.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
They had a
Two
full-on
floors.
band. I mean, the band was actually decent. It's not like they were some
Yeah,
clown acts from very local. They were a British kind of touring band, but
Yeah,
they were
he
fine.
sounded. He was from Liverpool, so
Yeah.
he was a scout. I've never heard of him before. But it was
Yeah.
good. It was good. It was loud, but it was good.
Well, it was loud.
I'm old.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why it was loud.
And they gave away a bunch of good door prizes. They had free
Yeah.
food. You could eat all you wanted. You got the T-shirt.
Which Lobo did, didn't he? I mean,
Well, you got to
I'm
feed
not
the
being funny,
Aussie.
Lobo. You have a tapeworm because you eat regularly. Once an hour, you stuff your face. There's definitely a tapeworm in there.
Something.
He'd have his dinner and go, "I'm hungry."
What I'll say about Low Blow's eating is it's not that he always said, "Hey, let's go here to eat," but if an opportunity presented himself, it was not passed up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, food.
We're like, "Hey, let's just get some coffee." He's like, "Oh yeah, coffee. Let's do that." All right, let's sit down here, have a beer. How about a charcuterie board? Absolutely, we're having a charcuterie board. Let's do that.
I think it comes from having a underprivileged childhood where he never had food in the house. So every time
Yeah,
he sees
you-
food now, he just rams it down his throat.
And you get the meal, and I'll get the fuel.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Which that's all kind of a lot of that's Bournemouth stuff. Another quote from Bournemouth was from Pilgrim as we were driving along, noticing the sights. And you have to understand, guys, these are all comments coming from the back seat in general. All right, there's a running commentary from the half-shelled peanut in the back. When if he's silent, it means he's fucking you over on navigation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
And there was a lot of silence.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's the constant talking, and what the quote was: "I love the sun; it brings them all out."
Well, it does, doesn't it?
Because it was sunny and warm in Bournemouth, and we were on the beach, and it was good and odd,
But actually, the fact I was about to say that was a huge value add to the trip on that day. The whole wisdom
Yeah.
involved in saying, let's make a tactical departure from Tankfest.
Yeah.
Because if you saw the car park, it was rammed with thousands of cars. And Guido's like, guys, should we? It was like, what was it? It was like 12 or 1 or something.
Yeah.
And Guido's like, we should just
Wasn't
let's just bail and go do something else. And I thought that was the best call of the day, honestly.
Dude, that
I'd
was
seen the tanks.
Can I give a shout out to Goose? Because Goose, I
Yeah.
think we said it last week, Goose is as crazy in real life as he is on his stream. He
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
man
Oh,
bear
yeah.
hug. He hugged me. I was like enveloped in Goose. It was amazing.
Yeah, he is definitely he's definitely a larger than life guy for sure.
Absolutely.
Now, what's funny is Davian was fairly reserved,
Yeah.
but the story is apparently he was well hung over that morning.
Oh, was he? Was that what it was? It was like just non-committal. It was just like blank.
Yeah, he was like we were up really late last night, and then essentially what happened, what he said, I don't know if you guys heard the conversation with him, but he said the night before they were in the bar, already several drinks in, about 8 at night or so, and Wargaming called him up and said, "Hey, we got an opportunity for you tomorrow to do some stuff with the FV before everyone comes in, so you can get pictures and do content." So they're like, "Oh yeah, when do you want us?" They're like, "We'll be there about 7 in the morning." Well, they hadn't planned on getting up, so and then I said, "So you had a choice, right? Press on,
Yeah.
or go to bed." And you pressed on, didn't you? He's like, "Oh yeah."
Well, I mean, he does all those 24-hour streams, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All-nighters. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's like default position for him,
Yeah.
isn't it? Who needs sleep? Sleep is for pussies, you know.
Oh, that's a great pick right there with the other tank in the back. I saw not tank actually. We'll
Oh,
get to that in a minute. But there's another vehicle. Let's put it that way in the background right there.
Alamanda's met Goose. Yeah, cool.
So what is this, Guido? What is this thing here?
Clicker, click. That's
It's a
a.
clicker.
It's not the priest. It's the British. What's
Bison,
the?
isn't it?
No, maybe.
Or is it the next one? It's the. Somebody tell us. M7 T40. Don't know. Actually.
Well, T40 is the game
Sexton.
TD version. Yes, I believe it is a Sexton. I believe it is a Sexton. Yep.
Yeah.
Here, good.
So a clicker, guys. We saw one. There was one at Tankfest. There was one Artie.
He was right at the red line at the back of the arena, wasn't
Yeah.
That was your phone being held up there, Guido. That's your arm.
Nope. That guy has too much gray hair. No way. That's me.
he? Yeah. That's not green.
You can tell because you're wearing the Ray-Bans that you dropped in the toilet.
Oh! If they weren't Ray-Bans, I'd have left
You know
them.
the back of your head looks like that. There you go.
I wish it didn't. I wish it didn't.
You don't want to see the back of my head.
Half-shelled peanut.
A half-shell bean.
Oh, that's cool.
There's the Chaffee. The Chaffee, very
It's a
cool.
good-looking little tank.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that's a nice.
So
looking
that
tank.
thing cruised. One thing I did notice about it is when the German tanks came out, and the Soviet one, they would actually really slow down before they turned because they did that kind of reverse or drag thing or whatever. If you notice the American tanks, they could turn at speed,
Yeah.
especially the later ones. The later ones like this one, very interesting how fast.
Yeah.
And then the modern ones, they just essentially drive around like a car.
Yeah.
You know.
Like they were
But
steering.
the thing about the Chaffee is hats off to the organisers of Tank Fest because they actually got Kim Jong Un to
Oh, that's
come in
right.
and man his tank.
That's right.
And there's look, he's right there. You can see him. And if I go forward, there's a photo of him. Hang on, where is it? I'm gonna find it here. Where he's just looking so proud. He's starting to get happy. And when he comes around the corner, let's see if I can find this photo. Let me just actually go.
Doesn't he have like a beret on and everything?
Yeah, he's got a beret and here I think they're starting to drive. Yeah, here they go. I'll get to it. He looks like he's on parade.
There he is, look. He's happy. Aha.
Look at him, he's like,
Oh, dear.
my people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy had the biggest shit-eating grin. Also, you just showed it there, but that one, they moved the turret, so the turret was operational now. And as
Yeah.
they went by,
Oh,
they
yeah.
put the turret towards the crowd and kind of swung around. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that
There it
was
is.
him.
Not all of them
Yeah,
did
there you
that. Yeah, not all of them did that, but that one they moved the turret around. Very cool.
Yeah.
So
Let's keep going here. Oh, yeah, hang on. He comes around here. This is where he looks like he's peeking right here. Look, he's so happy.
yeah.
Thanks.
So we were talking about health on and off, and
As old people do.
as old people do. And Pilgrim said something to Low Blow about looking fit. We'll just put it that way. And Low Blow deadpan says, "Guys, I don't work out. I just have sex."
That's his gym, apparently.
At which point Pilgrim pops off immediately after. My wife thinks sex is the number after 5.
Yeah, that's right.
So true.
But also, I'll explain to you on the trip. If you go to an Aussie's house and he's giving you a tour of his house, when he goes past the main bedroom, he's more than likely going to say, "And that's where the workbench is located."
Yeah. And I will be introduced to your good lady, and I'll call her the gym. Hello, the gym.
Oh my goodness gracious. Next quote then is, "Check out my bird pictures." Fuck,
Yeah.
so disappointed they all had feathers.
Yeah, that was Pilgrim. He was disappointed that all my bird photos had feathers in them. Exactly.
You can't tell me you've got bird photos and then stick a load of pigeons on your sofa. You know, I'm so looking forward to them.
Oh man. Yeah, so this has been mentioned several times, but if they weren't Ray-Bans, I would have left them right there. Yep, that was
absolutely.
glasses in the toilet.
Classic, isn't it? They're Ray-Bans.
T-34, that was actually cool. So that's a
was
T-34,
cool.
I believe it's an 85, as they said. I'm pretty sure it's
Was it?
T-34,
Yeah, it was
85.
the 85, wasn't it? Yeah.
And it sounds completely different than the American and Brit tanks. Completely
Yeah.
different.
Sounds rough, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Sounds rough.
the announcer was looking away from it. Now he knows the lineup, so maybe it's not that impressive. But he said what I was kind of thinking. He's like, I know without turning around which tank this is.
Yeah.
Or he might have said which country this tank's from or something like that. But it's a different sound. It sounds different. It's like you said, it's very clanky, loud, clacky. The engine's louder, a bit rougher maybe. I don't know. It was really interesting. It just had a different sound than the rest of them.
Was that is the T-34 diesel? I can't remember if it was diesel or petrol or gas?
I don't remember.
No, I don't remember. Possibly it was a diesel. I can't remember. I seem to think that the Soviet tanks were, I want to say multi-fuel, but I'm not sure. I think you could run on virtually anything. Cooking oil.
Yeah.
Or something, you know.
Odd Dog, thanks
That's
for the
really
resub,
funny
man.
cooking tank, though. It's amazing.
Appreciate the resub, Odd Dog. Missed that, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, it was a cool looking tank. It actually, yeah, absolutely. And they talked a lot about, how important it was, but how tough it. The what was the number? I think he said it, the life expectancy in battle of a T-34 was it measured in hours.
Hours, yeah.
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 Yeah, not 4 days, not a week, hours.
Hours. But they produced thousands of them, didn't they?
I think
kept rolling them out
tens of thousands. I want to say in the
Tens of
50s,
thousands, yeah.
maybe something like 50,000 or so.
Yeah.
A bunch.
Incredible. Yeah.
Well, that's basically all I've got. So
Awesome, man.
All right.
Appreciate
Good.
you bringing that by. I got some videos
Yeah,
for you
no
guys too.
worries.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, we talked about overcomplicated English things last week.
We did,
Yep.
yes.
Now here's a good one, and I'm gonna thank Pilgrim for this because I got 3 of these in a row, and Lobo got 2 of them in a row, which is starting to sound a little creepy. Oh, we just lost Lobo. No, we lost me. Oh no,
I'm here.
he turned off
still
the
here.
turned off thing. Full English breakfast, fellas.
Oh, yes.
yeah, that was good.
That was good. He brought all the stuff and then cooked it. Unfortunately, there was a rather disturbing wake-up chant, I guess.
Dear.
I got a very small. We the 2 of us got a very small slice and taste of what a young Brit enlisted man might have heard from Pilgrim.
Oh, dear.
The funny thing about
waking
that,
up.
the funny thing about that, he's got the NCO voice down to a fine art.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
He transforms into something completely different.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I wanted, yeah.
You guys said the night before, right, we're going to leave 7 o'clock on the dot. We're leaving at 7 o'clock on the dot. Well, at 25 minutes past 6, I was thinking, you guys take hours in the bathroom just like your ladies. So.
Oh,
Get
come
yourself-
on, come on.
For you
Gross
to get yourself
exaggeration.
Squared away, officers. Squared away and fed and out the door for 700 hours, gentlemen.
Now, did that roll off the tongue like old times, or did you have to have a think about it?
Absolutely. No. It just comes back when you do it.
When was the last time you said that before that? How many years?
Oh, God, 16, 17 years?
Yeah.
Maybe even more, 20 years ago.
Yeah. I just laughed. I'm like, holy shit,
And
that's awesome.
You also have to remember that because I'm speaking to commissioned officers, I get to shout at commissioned officers once a day, and that's normally in the morning, as long as you say gentlemen, which you got that morning, gentlemen.
Yep. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, a little bit different. Yeah. So it wasn't a chant. It was what would you call that? A good
It's
morning.
A wake up reveille. It's a
Wake
reveille.
reveille, a reveille. Okay, wake up reveille. So something at NCO would come in to the barracks and let the enlisted guys know it's time to get up, and not in a nice way.
Well, no, I'm not going to. It
wasn't hateful.
Shoulder.
Yeah, it wasn't hateful, but it definitely got the point across.
Exactly. You got out of bed, didn't you?
Now, at the beginning of this whole thing, when Blow Blow showed up with the car and we loaded up, we started driving right before that, or maybe you said it before. But anyway, he said, I got this. I don't know how we got on the subject, but he had a tire light. He had a warning on his car.
Pressure light.
So that it's telling him that he has a pressure problem with one of his tires. So he's like, well, let's go find some air and fill it up, and we'll be on our way. And I'm thinking to myself, if you get a pressure warning, yes, you may need some air in a tire, but there's probably a reason you need air in the tire. That's not a good reason.
Yeah.
Whoa. Let's wind back. 'Cause
Let's wind back.
I had checked all 4 tires.
That's what I'm getting at. Turns out there was a reason. So take it away, Lobo.
Well, yeah, I went and checked, and I was like, 32 psi sounds about right. So I put 32 psi in every single tire, and then the light came on about a few days later, letting me know that it wasn't happy with that. And so so we went and checked, and then when I opened the door to check what the car actually wanted, it wanted 36 psi.
Of course it did.
Tires. Yeah, that's what that was about.
Yep.
And then
It's
all
cool.
of a sudden, the fuel economy got better as well.
Well, that's strange, isn't it? It's called down, test, and adjust, officer, sir. If you have bother to look at the panel, it'll tell you what ounce per square inch goes into your tyre.
Working as intended.
Absolutely.
Working as
Yeah,
intended.
exactly. But you know, then we defended ourselves by saying on Suffolk roads we need 32 psi because if we have 36 in there, our fillings are going to rattle out of our head.
You were like a farmer in a tractor with low pressure in your tyres, weren't you?
So the last thing I have from the quotes is related to this working as intended kind of thing. We get there, and you guys may have to help me out how this all went down. I know my part in it, but we get there and low blow. We start
Hang on a
looking.
sec, I'm just going to have to mute up for a second.
You're fine. You're fine. So Lobo's looking for his ticket on his email or whatever, and he can only find Sunday's ticket. We actually had tickets to both days. We didn't end up going Sunday, which was also a good call. We didn't really need to, but thanks to Pilgrim for setting all that up. And he can only find Sunday, so we go through this whole thing. We're like, we'll just go and he'll see if they'll transfer it to Saturday. And I'm thinking to myself, what a dope. Doesn't even have his ticket. Come on, man. So Pilgrim hands me a big stack of papers the afternoon before, the afternoon we got there, and he's like, said, these are the tickets. So, okay, great. So I kind of put them to the side. Don't think much of it. I'm thinking we have email tickets, Pilgrim would have it on a phone or whatever. So we drive in, we park, we get out, we're discussing it. We've got Low Blow is arming himself up with the world's largest camera. He's got this like chest equipment. He puts on his armor plates, his helmet. All of his,
He's going to war.
God.
yeah. He loads up one in the chamber. He's ready to go.
My pronoun wristband. Don't forget
Yeah,
that.
pronoun shield is up. He's ready to go into combat, and I'm like, well, I hope he gets in, man. It's
Get a look out, stood outside.
it's gonna. And then I'm thinking, well, God, if they don't let him in, is he just gonna drive away? This is gonna suck. What a pain in the ass. So I go walking up there. We all go walking up there. Pilgrim pulls out this piece of paper. And
Exactly.
it's the ticket with the QR code or whatever thing on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right. And I'm looking at him like, you got my ticket? And he's like, no, I gave you your
Yeah.
ticket.
Yeah, I said, nope, you've got it. And you went, you're only joking. I went, no. No, I'm not joking.
True to form for my life, anytime I mock somebody about something or I have a bad thought about what a maroon they are, the percentage chance of me doing the exact same fucking thing immediately thereafter increases about 50-fold. And so what I didn't know is Pilgrim had handed me that to grab my damn ticket, figure out which one of the stack of papers it was. Now, can I just also... This is not a defense, but in the modern age, instead of bringing the emails available, Pilgrim printed the damn tickets out
Isn't that what you do?
onto paper. No, you bring your phone with the...
But it's so true. It's so true what you say, Guido, because I told you that story about when I dropped that bottle of water into the Herc's toilet, and we all
Yeah.
had a laugh about that. And no shit, within 2 hours, you dropped your Ray-Bans in the toilet on that same day.
And I thought about it as I leaned over the toilet, and they were hanging right there on my jumper. I'm like, that's kind of loose. I bet I'm gonna be careful, but I wasn't careful, and in they went.
But I love
can I
that
just-
because go ahead.
I just want to interject here about the bottle in the Herc toilet.
Yeah,
Who, in his right mind, well, we know who, but who in his right mind wants to put his arm up to his shoulder into a Hercules toilet to retrieve a water bottle 10 minutes before he meets his future wife's parents? So now he's got a blue loo arm covered in shot.
Oh
He's
no,
shaking
no, no.
hands with.
Well-
he's shaking hands.
Well, first of all, it wasn't my future wife's parents.
oh,
It was
sorry,
the mistress.
it was another girlfriend.
It was the mistress who I was visiting in Perth from Sydney. And the other thing about that is that I had no choice because I'd reported to the captain of the aircraft that I dropped the water bottle in the toilet.
a
And he said,
water
"Well,"
bottle.
he said we need to go and get it. And actually, to his credit, he put his arm in there first. and he couldn't get it, and then I put my arm in. Now the thing I was going to say about
That's
this
leadership
was
by example
what
right there.
what I love about Guido was the half-bird defiance when he dropped his Ray-Bans in when he came out, and then he exhibited this bravado where he said, "If I want to feel around my own shit, I will." They're my turds, and if I want to reach in there and touch them, I will. That was exactly what he said after he'd come out with his dirty Ray-Bans, and I found that fantastic.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Desperate times require
Desperate things.
often require desperate measures, my friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you and the blue arm understand that more than anybody
dear.
else. I just love.
We got into Tankfest on Sunday's tickets. All three of us, didn't we? Really?
Yeah, that's actually what's funny about it.
That was cool.
They were very good about that, to be honest.
Yeah, they you know, the virtually. I think we could have turned up with no tickets, and they would have said, "Go in."
Yeah. They told Lobro did that. Actually, they found your Saturday one, didn't they, Lobro?
They found my Saturday one.
Oh, they were geared up for fuck ups. They were geared up for people who were not in good control of their admin. They literally had a desk off to the side and they were ready for us.
Yep.
When they...
Yeah, they are. Here they are. There they are. Look, them three. They're free. Come here.
Yep.
Freaking three Muppets. Yeah. So that was awesome. Yeah, I just.
I've got to get
man.
this barbecue because.
Get out of here.
There'll be no charcoal left.
Roger. See you, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, brother.
See
Take
you
care.
guys. Bye.
See you. All right, man.
All right, that was cool. CC Privilege Gator, you are right, mate. We got him because of Guido with his T-shirt. Oh, did he, Alamander? Did he really? Did Griswold do the blue arm thing? Superb.
Yeah, I suspect the blue arm thing on C-130s and crew chiefs and crew might be a relatively common, if not common, a known thing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because that pisser is just a little tube back there. I've used it on flights before in desperate situations.
You don't want to, really, do you?
No. We got multiple pilgrims on both here. I just realized I'm actually doing this wrong, so I got pilgrims showing up on everything here. Give me a moment, fellas. I gotta figure this out. There we go. Oh yeah, that was a good trip, man. So there you go. You've got the full download now, my friends. That is. There was very little else happened there that we didn't just discuss. To be honest, though, there was a lot more banter, which was absolutely fantastic.
Well, if you get, not just military guys, if you just get three guys at the car on a road trip, there's definitely things that just you don't expect to happen all the time.
Oh, did Clark did it, Alamander? I don't remember that scene. That's pretty funny. That's awesome. Well, we've been at it for an hour, so let's take a 5-minute break. We'll come back with tanks. We're going to talk missions and specials. There's a couple things to talk about here, actually, and you probably know a lot about them. But we'll get back and talk about some tanks. Give me 5 minutes to top off my coffee, and we shall return, my friends.
Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Now in the shadows came a mysterious chap who spoke in a tongue with strange dialect. He offered his help to the mighty Guido to bring some laughter to his love of speedos. To the coffee talk they both came to bring the message of winning ways to all and sundry and the masses. Yes, that's right, lads and lasses. The damage counts and flexing back will keep you on the right track. Guido is his name, tanking is his want to progress, then seek out Guido nonetheless. With his sidekick Pilgrim, he has a message that to win you must be aggressive. The position and place that you must seek, for the winners only, not the weak. The guru speaks, so listen well. His voice rings out like the Liberty Bell, to bring you all to Unicom land, or to die hard trying in the sand. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. Guido is his name, tanking is his game. Guido. To the swamplands came the mountain man, to teach his wisdom and pay his due. A man with a name only known to a few. To his followers, his
All right, we're back. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, they were shit canned. That's
They
what
were.
I say.
They were shoot canned.
Shoot canned.
All right, we're back. Tanks. Let's see. Hey, did you know you can get a premium for gold, Pilgrim?
Apparently so. A very fast one. Like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where'd
Did
it
you
go?
get one?
I did. Why not? I have a bunch of gold.
There you go.
So it spent me. It spent me.
spent you?
Cost me. It cost me a bunch of brain bites to figure this out because I saw it was for sale, and because I don't read anything and I assume I know everything. That's how I roll. I just went to the shop right on the website. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, how do you get this thing? I need to know to tell the guys how much it costs and all that stuff. And it stumped me. It flummoxed me for longer than I care to admit because I just didn't read it. I'm assuming everybody understands what I'm talking about. If you don't, you can't buy this
No.
directly.
No.
You can buy it. You can get it. It costs gold. There you go. Wayne's got it nailed down right there. So you're going to go to the store, my friends. And you're going to go to Best, and here it is. So you can either get the full Monty with, what are you getting? 5 other items. I don't want to click on that. Will I buy it if I click on it, or is there another page?
No, it should go to another. Dewberry Firkin, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, you can buy it normally. It's 8,750 or something like that just for the tank itself. This one is blowing my mind over here. I don't know what's going on here, but this shows 19,250.
I know. I mean, wow. Really?
Like what? What? Is that a type? It has to be wrong, right? Because you can get. I don't know. This is normal. So this is. No, maybe not. This is a discount of 40%. This one does not show discounted.
No.
So that's correct. Because the just the tank was 8,000. Actually, that's 11,000. Oh, I got it discounted. So the tank I think is 11,000 gold. You get a discounted just for the tank, costs you about 8,700 or whatever. But all the other doodads in Wargaming's mind is worth 19,250 undiscounted, and I'm looking at what's there. I'm like, you have to be freaking kidding me.
Yeah.
It's a crew,
Yeah.
right? So mainly it's the crew, and then it's the 100%. That's 100%. Those are big. 100% bonus. So I mean, look at that. That's not 50%. It's 100% bonus,
Yeah.
and some other shit, garage slot and whatever else is on there. Crazy. So you can get the CS52C. Says that fun tank, at least an onslaught light. Haven't played it in random. Catches fire though, so you need a fire crew. Very fast. Can you, Hunter? Okay, thank you. I'm gonna do it. There you go. Thank you for knowing that. I didn't know. Did I say Hunter? Hundler 317. 4 tank crewmen, 10 of the 100% credit bonus, 10 300% free crew. These look like permanent ones because they're not highlighted in red, so that's nice. Tree Frog, 100% on experience and 25 times 5. Honestly, Wargaming, 20,000 gold. That's almost $100. Is it 80?
Yeah.
how much is that? 80, 90 bucks?
It's got to be close to about 90.
Or is it?
90.
It's at least 70-ish, I think. Let's go find out here. Any amount of gold. 19,250. $80 Wargaming?
Yeah.
$80. Please. Come on. $80 for a crew. They do have 3 perks. Boy, that must be math for the free experience purchase to make a crew have 3 perks. The majority of that is for the crew.
Yeah.
That's just still stupid. I don't get it. Whatever. 40% off and getting all that. Well, I'm not going to tell you it's a deal. It's
No.
a better deal because you get the tank and all that stupid stuff. Not working says you need a high skill crew, but you should probably already have one. It's a premium, remember. So if you have any of the Polish tanks already mediums, you may already have a pretty good crew.
You
So,
would think, yeah.
but it is cool. Now I think this is a better deal, and I don't know if I have any available. I think I already used them. Fellas, on here as well, there is a deal to buy 3 pieces of improved equipment for the price of 2.
Yeah.
One of those packages has the turbo, the improved turbo, which up until now has
Yeah.
not been purchasable.
I think that's the better deal out of the 2,
Yeah.
personally.
I would highly recommend, unless you're saving your bonds for something specific, and I don't have those deals anymore because I did both of them. That is well worth it. That is a free piece, close to a free piece of equipment because it's 10,000. I want to say bonds, and obviously optics are only 4, so that you're not. But one of them, I think, or both of them, has the increased shell resistance, which is 6. So you're getting a good deal on that. And as you can see, I can't just buy right now a turbo. So I finally have an improved turbo. When I say it's a good deal, Pilgrim, when you see things like gold sinks, like a brand new premium tank for gold, which is very unusual, nice deals on improved equipment for bonds, usually stuff like that shows up before they have an event where you can
Oh, I was just about to say.
build
is
a
it
tank or
gonna be-
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it going to be like a black market event or a marathon or like build your tank event or something?
Yeah, I think probably one of those build your tanks things potentially. There is one going on over in RU. There is some noise that one of those things is going to show up. So be forewarned. But I personally think it's a good deal. I had 40,000 bonds. If you play any kind of tier 10, you create bonds all the time. So I grabbed some improved equipment. That was nice. I got 6 pieces for 20,000. Would normally cost you 30.
I mean, if you've got all the tanks, bomb tanks that you want, and you're not saving for anything, yeah, obviously it's a deal, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
bonds are free. Effectively, bonds are free, aren't
Right.
they?
If you play tier 10,
Pay
yeah,
for it.
yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah, it is. I've just purchased the second bundle with the venting system, the compressor, and the experimental optics because I've had a look at the bond tanks and there's nothing there really that I'm wanting. You know.
Right. Yeah. So I think that's probably a pretty good deal, fellas. Absolutely.
But be aware if you buy the package, any reserves you get with it are the expired ones, the ones that expire.
For which?
To if you
For the LIS?
so, yeah, no, if you buy the second package, you also get. Did you know? I did not know. Hang on.
I thought it
Oh
was.
no! Sorry. I've got a note.
That's a different package, right?
I've just had a notification from the little icon on the right hand side. And as soon as I clicked purchase of the bond equipment, this thing expirable reserves came up.
Oh, you got that for something else, probably.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, that's odd. You get reserves as well.
Yeah.
No.
All good. All good.
Oh well.
Let's see. What on earth? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm talking to myself, fellas. All right, what else we got? We got missions wise. We're looking at it goes 70 Gator in fast mode, 70 kilometers. It's normally 50, which is decent, but it will top out at 70 if you go to fast mode. Watch salute. The 100 LT is on top of the tree. We've got Keep Up the Fight is still out there, fellas. Remember, I've noted this several weeks in a row here, and it goes to 1 September, I believe. Yeah, so you got a while. You got another month and a half. But realize it's all Brit mediums. That's all you can do to get that. So at some point, you might want to play your Brit mediums and gather up these goodies. French, we kend. Get it? We
Yes.
kend.
Yes, yes.
These are crew skins, fellas, not crew members. They're just crew skins. So, I mean, if you like that, they're free. You're going to get some decals. You're going to get some inscriptions, some first aid kits, which is nice. Day of premium. And then if you do every 24 hours, you can do this twice and some more goodies over here. French decal, French flag. Did I get that? Maybe not. Decal, French flag. Let me see. Hold on. Decals. Maybe I didn't do that. Because I know those flags you can sell.
Oh, can you? Oh,
Yeah.
That's fair enough then.
Doesn't look. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Well, not this flag. I thought all the flags you could sell. That's not true. So I could be wrong on that French one. Generally, the colored ones I think you can sell. But there you go. All right. Exit out of that. And that's it for missions, I think, guys. Everybody got this bug right here, where this card comes up and you can't get rid of it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's driving me batshit crazy. Look at this. I can't get away from it.
No,
There we go. Missions. All right.
that's been there since, I want to say, well, definitely since the update. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if the last update or the one before it.
Yeah. Hopefully they patch that soon. And then the M4 MLE 54 is on top of the tree as well. Bastille Day, we talked about the 2+1 packs, and that's pretty much it for missions and specials, Pilgrim, unless you got anything else. Actually, we can dive over here real quick and just take a look. I don't think there's really many tanks that are interesting right now.
You've got the fairly standard, I think they brought, obviously the French tanks are in there.
All right, we've got... Yeah, the M449, which you can get for bonds, by the way. So I probably wouldn't buy this. I would get it out of the bond shop. That's to taste, of course. The 1357, fun little tier 7. Just an absolute little monster. The Gendron. I don't know why you would buy a tier 2, but go for it if you like it. And then, of course, the Sturv K, which is not French.
No.
Bunch of decals, bunch of football stuff. Oh, how have we not talked about this? Is football coming home?
No. It's not going to come home. You know why it's not going to
Are
come
you
home?
not-
Because we never...
Are you not even cautiously optimistic?
No. No. You see, the trouble is, if I sit down to watch any England game, they lose. So I'm not even going to watch it. So I am apparently the biggest jinx, the biggest Jonah going. So if I actually watch an England game, I have to watch highlights. I have to watch it the next day. Because they're going to lose if I sit down and watch it. So I'm not even remotely interested in it. Because there's nothing like an England soccer team to set you up for the biggest fall. You know what I mean? They're now in the final of the Euros against Spain, which is a fairly decent team anyway. So I'm just pretending it's not happening. And we'll see where we are at 10 o'clock tonight.
To be fair, in the last kind of cycles of international gameplay, the World Cup and now here, they've gone deep for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knocks Gareth Southgate as a manager. He's a little bit too cautious for my liking, but the caution that he instills into the team has somehow paid off. So it's not exactly defensive because
Yeah.
he has some good strikers,
Right.
but he I don't know. There was a lot of passing backwards going on.
Well, I feel like
you and I are aggressive when we play World of Tanks.
Yeah.
Well, he's like an artillery player. He'll sit on the red line and just let it go.
I feel like they're peaking at the right time.
They could well do.
Their
could well do.
play has improved since the group stage. I think every game, and their offense has woken up. They're not an offensive power, but they are getting down and getting shots.
Yeah.
You know,
There's some young lads there who are quick and mobile and are hungry for the goals. So if he plays the younger lads, because he's brought them on as substitutes and they've scored,
yeah.
and that's how we've got through. So maybe if he plays them from the beginning, we'll have a different game. But I don't know.
But on the other
I'm not an
hand,
expert.
Spain has been rolling and really hasn't been
They're
overly
always a good
challenged.
team.
It really hasn't been overly challenged.
No,
So-
they've cruised. I would say they've cruised.
So
I don't
maybe
think they've been full shot.
maybe a defensive team who can manage to somehow blunt their offense might have a chance.
That would be possibly the
Might
the
have a
way to do
chance.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We shall see tonight, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna. I'm not.
You're not going to watch. You're not even going to watch.
No. Every time I do, it started way back in 1977 when Man United beat Liverpool Football Club.
It started
on the
back
FA Cup,
in
right?
1977.
And I watched it. Really, I could not get a ticket. I was 15, 16 years old. It was just before I went into the army, and I sat in my mother's house. And I watched it on an old television with valves in the back and everything, an old big box television set.
You were
And I
the
watched Man-
channel changer.
I was the.
Get up, boy, change the channel. Yeah, been there.
Yes, that's the one. Ooh.
Yeah, you were the remote.
Yeah, I was the remote.
Yep.
And Man United, as always, Man United, when they have a hard game, they sneak the win with the last minute to go. They scored a goal with the last minute to go, as always, Man United, and that devastated me, absolutely devastated me. So I refused to watch an important game on the telly ever again. If I go to a match, pay to get in, that's fine, but I will not watch it on TV because I am the biggest Jonah going, mate.
They are. English soccer teams are heart attack masters.
They are, yes.
Yep, they will.
Yeah.
They will absolutely keep you on the edge to the last minute, wondering what the hell is happening.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no predetermined going on here.
I think their biggest weakness is for some reason they give up a goal early, nearly every game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Despite the defensive
Yeah.
thing, and then they typically lock it down. But somehow there's always this weird.
Yeah.
And I don't
That
watch a
little
lot of
sprang.
I don't watch a lot of soccer, but I'm starting to kind of watch enough that I'm starting to understand some of the flow stuff that goes on with it.
Sure. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, where early on when both teams are feeling each other out, there's very often early opportunities
Yeah.
before they sort of figure out what's going on, where you can sneak one in, and then you usually get a very long dead time in the middle,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the
that's
frantic end. Now, if a team's
frantic
just
end.
dominating, it might be. If a team's dominating, they're going to be down on the other side, and it's just going to be constant attack.
Yeah.
But on close games, it seems like there's that early window.
Yeah.
Sometimes near the half, frantic,
Yeah.
and then a lot of
Well,
dead time.
if you go into half time having scored, then you're on the up, aren't you? So when you
Right.
come back out, you're bouncing.
Yeah.
So you're already bouncing when you come back out after the half time break.
Yep.
So that's why the pressure is on to get a goal before half time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
and that just gets everybody bouncing. You know what I mean?
Well, Zimbo,
Lasso.
then you are at the top
Years
of
ahead of anybody
you are at
else.
the top of your game if you watch Ted Lasso, my friend. That's actually a pretty good show. That's actually a pretty good show. So, the word soccer actually comes from you.
It does, yes.
It
Well,
does,
the
yeah.
word soccer is association football
Right.
because we invented it. You guys just
Yep.
picked it up and did something weird with it.
Yep.
But association football, which is shortened into soccer. Yeah.
It was shortened initially to a sock.
To a sock, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah,
And then
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of blurred into soccer because of the British
Yeah.
penchant for making words silly.
Easier to say.
Like wellies and brellies.
Overcomplicated.
Wellies and brellies.
Well, there's nothing wrong with wellies and
Yeah,
brollies.
rellies and brellies.
The telly. You want
Tellies,
a telly with a
telly.
brolly above your
Yeah,
head.
that with
Anything you want.
that felly over there. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to tanks. Good luck to England.
tanks.
Good luck to England.
Thank you.
I am absolutely Team England. 3 Lions. Let's do it.
There is no country in Europe that is supporting England other than England. So even the Welsh and the Scots are wanting Spain to win.
Why are you in the Euro Cup? I thought you weren't European.
Well, when you say European, look at the teams that are in there. You've got like Norway and
I
all
know,
that sort of
that's
stuff.
true, that's true.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just anybody in it. It's just
Yeah.
anybody. You know, just to make the numbers up. That's all it is.
All right, so I understand maybe why not now, but in the past, how come Russia doesn't have? Do they not play soccer at the international level?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they've had quite a good team in the past, but I think.
Were they denied
It's
entry, or
always
did they
there.
not make it this year because of the qualifications? Because not everybody
Possibly
makes it,
so.
right?
Yeah. No, not everybody makes it, and I think this year.
The war
Because
thing
of
may
the
have been,
situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they do. They in the past they have
Oh,
been.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, they-
all right.
Yeah, they don't make it all the time.
Yeah.
Big country, but don't have a fantastic team. Big country.
Yeah, I don't think it's top of their list of things.
No, I think drinking vodka is more their sport, isn't it?
Knew we were going to eventually get there. I knew we were going to. All right. Let's see. Gold Battle Pass featured. I think we covered all that. Although, is there anything interesting down here, fellas? Lots of decals and kind of standard stuff, guys. There's not much. The big one I think is the 52 CS thing. Why, Pilgrim? We haven't talked
don't-
about it being available, and I said it's cool that it's for
Yeah.
gold. What do you guys think? What's going on? What?
Morning Semper Fish.
Because check this
I
out.
don't know, mate. I don't know. It's a hard one to figure out. Why have an LIS in all but name that's just faster? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. It's not good. I'm just going to move myself
It's
over
fast.
here. Yeah. Do you guys like?
The trouble is with aggressive players, aka you and I, we get to trouble a lot quicker if it's fast. That's why it fails. Because we look back and then the rest of the team are 2 miles behind us. So we're like, oh sugar, oh it's sugar.
So here's a comparison, guys. I've got this set up. No crew, 100% no skill crew. So it's 100% skill, no perk. Let's put it that way. So 100% crew, no perks, no equipment, no food, no bonuses. So just the base tank with 100% crew, which gives that little extra bonus. But this is what the setup is. My typical comparison thing that I do here. This is a weird one to me, and I guess it's just a gold sink at the end of the day, to be quite honest. I mean, great wargaming, adding content. I got it. New tank, blah blah blah. Yep, okay. But when you look at the two of them, it's a really interesting thing here that they've done, and I don't think it's necessarily great as a tank. This 52 LIS was known when it came out as kind of having a big alpha. Now it's sort of at the middle of that now based on the way power creep has happened, but when it came out, and it's still kind of, it hits hard, right? Which typically means it has a relatively low average DPM, relatively. So it's got 2086, it hits for 320, and its rate of fire is 6.52, and so it's got that 9.2 second reload. So a long reload on a medium with what used to be a heavy stick and now is kind of a slightly heavy stick. And that's its thing, right? It's relatively fast, it hits pretty hard, kind of a slow reload, decent turret, not amazing, okay-ish gun handling, right?
Yeah.
Well, then they go, okay, CS52C, and we're going to give it the gimmick. We're going to give it the super speed. You press X, Pilgrim's favorite thing. And then you got the wind in your hair, your flowing locks are flowing back while you drive, and you can get to these early spots. And then they go, well, let's do the balance thing. Now it's fast, so that's a bonus. Let's balance it. We'll give it 250 alpha, which is terrible at tier 8.
It is, isn't it? It is.
I mean, there's quite a few. Go ahead.
I would dare say, and somebody's already mentioned it, that with speed like that, I would set it up for vision. I would really set it up for vision and get those spots. Given that this is slightly better armor than most light tanks, you might survive that first carouse into the enemy lines to spot them and then get the heck out of there.
Yeah.
So I would play it so much like, almost like an EBR, not quite an EBR, but something like a light tank.
So its ability, I think its ability to sort of be a medium light and a counter scout is certainly valid. It's got the speed, 250 alpha's fine. It's heavier, so if you get a ram on it, that kind of stuff. It actually has a significantly a decent turret at tier 8. We'll get to that in a minute. The armor is a lot better than the regular CS52 LIS. But this is where I'm getting to, because that's a very niche thing. which
Yeah.
is fine. You can have niche tanks, but
Yeah.
when you look at it, that's the kind of thing you got to look for, I think, to do well with it, because 250 Alpha is not scaring anybody, and its reload is pretty anemic, because at 7.77, when you drop down here and you look at its DPM with a lower alpha, it comes out a lower DPM, not by much, but it is lower
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
the CS52 LIS. Oof.
Well, Gator's got a good point.
Oof. Yeah, that's a way to look at it, 100%.
Yeah.
Only -7 gun depression, problematic on counter scout and ridge fighting.
Yeah.
Problematic for a good turret, especially for a medium that wants to use some of those ridges as opposed to get into city and get behind rubble, hold down kind of stuff. But that being said, 260 turret is pretty damn good. Now I haven't looked at.
If you survive till end game, I think it's a very good end game tank.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the speed to get about the map and finish off all the near deads.
And it's a well curved. Yeah, you got to survive. It's a well curved turret. It does have a bit of a hatch up there, so that's certainly something. Okay, so we get down the armor. I talked about that. It's the turret. That's its thing, really, over the 52 LIS. We have, here's the speed, right? So it's 50, just like the LIS. Interestingly, it's 3 kilometers an hour slower in reverse. 20 is nice.
Of course it is.
20 is
Of course
nice
it is.
for getting off a ridge.
Yeah.
17 starts
Yeah.
to get maybe not so good, but it's okay. And then here's that speed, fellas. You got it. You're topping at 70 if you press X. I don't think there's a negative. There is not. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Is there a specific negative to gun handling when you're going fast,
Yeah, Sutex
other
says
than the
that-
speed?
Well, Sutex says that the camo and the gun handling is much worse in turbo mode, so
Okay,
it knocks
there you
down the
go.
camo as well. So
I thought. Did they show that? No. Yeah, same tank with turbo 8th Hussars, which it is not. It's not even close to the same tank. It's now, to be fair though, its camo is better than the standard one. 13's not
to
amazing,
start off
but
with, yeah, but as soon as
yeah.
you go to turbo, does it drop?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Wait, station. Yes, it does. So stationary vehicle. There you go. There's turbo. So okay, there you go. That's his point. A turbo, it drops from 13 down to 8.8, 13.17 down to
Nearly
8.84.
half.
Yeah.
Nearly 50% loss. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So there you go. Although gun handling it doesn't show, but I don't know if the comparison tool shows that or not. It doesn't seem to. That would be nice if they added that. Tanks, yeah, tanks will have it. Okay, so it does exist. It's just not on the comparison. That makes sense. Well, it doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. Let's put it this way. I know why it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. But you've got to say that if you're going to put, I don't know, $80 into a tank, and I know it's a personal preference, Guido, but if you're going to sink $80 into a tank, and I'm not saying every tank you buy has to be overpowered, but it has to match the reality of the cost that you're putting out there, the money you're putting out there.
Yeah.
So if you're paying $80 for a tank, you want it to perform at least as good as the CIS, if not slightly better, I would suggest.
Well-
and have the ability to play the game in
Yeah.
the way that they designed the tank to play.
My irritation with things like this, where you've got this speed, is the amount of advantage this kind of thing gives mid to late game on guys. Who can use the speed to reposition, get around the map. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the worst things for a light tank mid to late game who's trying to dominate are these really fast mediums that still have some hit points, who can flush you out of anywhere because they're as fast or faster than you are, and they've got way more firepower. These things are brutal, so it just really crushes a lot of times the advantage you might have, even as you get your light tank to mid to late game, where you can start to really do something. These things are brutal.
It's going to see
Stop.
9 and 10, isn't it? It's not pref, is it?
No, oh my god, this drives me
So
crazy.
it's going to see 9 and 10.
Yeah. Anytime you get your mouse near that thing up there, that stupid card keeps coming up.
Hey!
All right. How did we get there? We were just talking about the tank, I guess. I don't know. Whoa. All right. So I will play it. If I do a review on it, it's not going to help you because there's only 22 hours left, guys. So if you want it, you got to get it now. When it will be available again, who knows? Anybody doing Onslaught Light?
I am, and I like it, to be honest. The 7 versus 7 is good. The whole thing is good because it doesn't detract from your main grind. You retain the level that you're at. Oh, hang on, I've just...
Can you confirm if there's battle pass points? Did somebody mention
Yes,
in
there is.
Discord?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
because I was on about
yeah.
about how there weren't points in it, but I didn't know if there were or weren't.
Yeah, no,
And
definitely.
that's
Battle
good.
Pass
So great.
points.
There's battle pass points.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So for me, I'm really enjoying it. I'm playing it both on the EU and the NA, because generally the NA it's finding it difficult, NA wise, to get the numbers into the mode
Yeah.
because of the smaller player base.
Right.
So I'm playing it on both accounts at the moment, and I'm enjoying both accounts. It's fine, and you know, when you've got a 7 versus 7, generally, not all the time, but generally, the 7 on your team will deploy, you know, as a team, as opposed
Yeah.
to, you know, 4 different ways. And you can be very effective in some. I mean, on my EU account, I don't have that many tier 8s of note, but the ones I've got, you can deploy in that 7-man team and be effective, despite having probably the worst tank in the team.
Yeah.
Which is my case. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. If they bring that in as a permanent mode, I'll probably play that more than pubbies, to be honest.
Are you finding the power ups to be kind of a pain, or is it just really background
Not
noise?
really. No. The couple of things about it is they've actually thought about this, because the spotting power up, for example, the 2 closest to your spawn point, i.e. yours and the enemy's spawn point, they've got line of sight on each other, so you can blind fire their power up. So you know you're still being effective, even though, and the power up only gives you like a couple of seconds of spotting that particular power up. So it's not like they've spotted the team forever. So you just get an indication of where they've deployed with that, which is great.
Right.
But also, don't forget the enemy now knows where you are as well when they do their bit.
Well, I'm talking
Also,
more
then
about
the
like the different bonuses, like the roll things or whatever. were.
Well, to be fair, they're not as effective as the, for example, front lines. So the artillery stuff on the bonuses on the actual tanks, I tend to forget to use them because I'm so focused on just having a good time. So, and then I realise, oh shit, I've got buttons I can press there, but I don't bother. So, but people probably do. Do pick up on it. You know, the crew skill enhancer and all that sort of stuff. It's cool. I really do enjoy it. It's a different mode, but it's a mode where 7 versus 7 on some of these. I mean, they use the grand maps as well. So you've got the old 30 versus 30 maps. With
What?
7
Really?
versus 7.
No
It
way.
is
No, they
fantastic.
don't.
No, they do. It is
What?
fantastic.
That's not
Brilliant.
true.
It is very true. I've had the grand battle maps, and it's the dog's bollocks, mate. I tell you.
All right, that's wild.
That is so much maneuver warfare. It's fantastic.
We did, Sutek. Thanks for bringing it up. For those of you who came in late, what he's talking about is you can get 3 improved equipment for the price of 2. You're going to go to your store. Mine's not there because I did it already. It'll be here in Best. I don't remember where it was. Maybe right below the CS52 thing. And the big key there is there's a turbo, an improved turbo available, which you can't buy otherwise. That was only I think it was for Onslaught, I think, or something. I don't know.
I think it was an Onslaught. It definitely wasn't Battle Pass anyway.
Yeah. So I would highly recommend those. It'll cost you 20,000 bonds to get 6 pieces, which would normally cost you 30 bonds. That's a fairly rare, great deal, I would say.
Yeah.
Danger. Generally, when you see gold sinks like this tank and bond sinks like that, it means they're getting ready for something like a tank creation event where you use your resources. So forewarned is forearmed.
Yeah.
There you go on that. All right, so let's see.
Well, not working intended to just actually hit the nail on the head about Onslaught Light. No wins and losses against your stats, if you like.
Yeah.
Makes lots of credits and
Yep.
gets battle pass points. And
Yep.
it's a fun mode. It really is a fun mode.
Good.
I like 7 versus 7.
Yeah, so do I. I don't care for the competitive piece of going backwards, which is
No.
fine. Competitive people do, so if that's I don't care. People want to do that, it's fine. I don't personally care for
Yeah,
it. I'm not a big fan of all the bonuses and power ups, but whatever. If it's a fun
No.
mode, it's a fun mode. So RU has a 259 Alpha marathon going, an old school marathon, something we haven't really seen
We haven't seen
for a
ages,
while.
have we?
It's always been a Marapass kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they've got that going on. That doesn't affect us. It doesn't help us in any way. Looks like I didn't realize this, but Global Map Season 21 is over. We have good on Wargaming, by the way, for dropping 100,000 US to help the hospital in Ukraine that got hit.
Yeah. Cool.
It's a hospital. Whatever you think of the war, doesn't matter. They're helping place that had kids in it. So there you go.
Yeah. Cool.
Fifth Assembly shop leaks. Now I don't know if this is RU or what, but there's a claim that it's the Vickers MBT. Remember that was recently put into the files right there. So there's the assembly shop we were talking about. That's the intel that something like that's going to happen at the beginning of August. So again, forewarned is forearmed. I just sunk some bonds and gold into these specials that all of a sudden showed up, and we're probably going to get one of these things, which is going to cost you bonds and gold, depending on
Of course it is.
depending on what your free experience is. Bastille Day we talked about. Here's the improved equipment thing. There's the two packages. So one was a rammer, vert, stab, and hardening. The other one was the turbo, optics, and event.
Yeah.
That's all there were bonus codes for the football, which I didn't know about. I was out of the country, so hopefully you guys took advantage of that. Did any of you guys pick England?
No, I didn't.
I bet only some hardcore England fans picked England to get this far.
More than likely. Yeah. I didn't pick either side. I'm not going to go there.
Check this out, Pilgrim.
I'm checking it out.
What are you? Again, not us, but tier 11 tanks with a new shell type, man. The APF SDS, armor piercing, fin stabilized, subcaliber.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so tier 11s should only see tier 11s then. That's what
I
I'm saying.
doubt that. Well, I don't know what they're going to do with their matchmaking, but that's what's happening on What Are You with Lesta. A lot of what they're doing I kind of prefer, to be honest, in terms of the game, but that's not where we are. CS52C.
I'd like to see tier 11s, but they would have to really just make tier 11s battles. Because when you start to say tier 11, you start to talk 1970s onwards with the tanks, and they are so much more overpowered than anything produced before. So can you imagine having an Abrams up against a Scorpion or a Tiger II? I mean, it's just pathetic. It's not.
Well,
you know what I mean.
I mean, I think the 11's going to be all like prototype and early stuff. I disagree with that. That is a real world point, in my opinion. In the game, it's just numbers. You know what I mean?
Do you think they would scale it like that? Or
I'm
do you
sure.
think-
I'm sure they'll do something to make it where they. I mean, maybe they only see tier 10s. I don't know what they're going to do with the matchmaking.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying. The argument has always been, well, the main battle tanks will just shred everything and it'll be unfair. I'm like, well, you just adjust the stupid numbers, man. Now, how they would do that, I'm not 100% sure, because it's not like you would go, okay, the Abrams is going to have 300 millimeters of armor all around or whatever, right? It doesn't. In the reality world, it doesn't have that. So, what's the balancing factor? Do the main battle tanks end up with the insane penetration, real world, and actually have kind of less armor? Well, that would balance it. If a 10 and a 9 can penetrate it most of the time because its armor is kind of crap. They're like, well, what about active armor? Well, you don't put it on there. That's a relatively recent thing. On the prototypes, may not have had that stuff. So, I don't know. They could even do math. If you've got Chobham or different kinds of armor, or super angling, stuff like that, You can still modify the maths for penetration based on
I
whatever
think a lot
shell
of
it is.
work, a lot of work to do that, though.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it might be easier just to put the tank into the game with a given set of stats and just reduce, like, not working, so
Yeah.
reduce the MM to plus or minus 1.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably certainly have the 11s C10s. I don't really see a problem with
There'll
that
be some 10s which will.
because the leopard and the STB and some of the tier 10 mediums are already like that. They really don't have that good armor. They're all about speed and penetration and accuracy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Abrams with a gas turbine, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who knows? I mean, maybe their thing's going to be insane accuracy. You know, based on fire control. You got sub
Yeah, could
sub
be.
0.3
Stabilizing
beginning.
guns and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Sub 0.3 starting points for accuracy. Who knows?
Oh dear! Imagine no dispersion then
Yeah.
at all.
Very little, right? And I think that's it. Yep, that's pretty much it for that, guys, as far as trolling the news. So what do we got? We've got obviously Battle Pass is ongoing. I'm at 8 on my second chapter, so I'm behind the power curve on this one for one of the first times ever. We have the French thing going on. We have Onslaught Light going on. We will have, for those of you who love Steel Hunter, that's coming up at the end of the month.
It's coming in. Yeah.
Got a new
There's
tank.
a link up between that. I think there's a link up between that and Onslaught Light. I think there's something connected there. I'm not sure. I just a skim read, and it said if you played Onslaught Light, then something in Steel Hunter, something connected.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I didn't really dig into it. Sorry.
Not sure on that, but okay. Copy all. What else? I think that's about it, fellas. Oh, I did want to show some of the videos from. Here, let me do this. All right, so this video. I think this is one of Pilgrim's videos.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Pilgrim.
We know it is.
Yeah. So here we go.
Hey, that's a good one, yeah.
That was supposed to be a picture. Fantastic. Yeah.
Was it not?
Yeah. All right, here's another one. This is another good one.
Awesome.
Is it all right? Just checking.
That's fine. I don't worry about that shit.
To be fair to Pilgrim, I handed him the phone in video, and he dutifully pressed the button. And
Overcomplicated
it,
American thing.
yes, and the phone did exactly what it was supposed to do in that situation. No thanks to me. All right, let's see some tank videos here. This is cool. All right, first one we got is here.
It was a mainstay of the Panzer divisions during the attack of Poland, the Low Countries of France, and the early years of the fighting in the Western Desert.
This is the see how the older tank it had to actually stop the Panzer III and spin.
Yeah, as opposed to turn.
Yeah. So I don't know maybe if that's a driver thing, a driver choice thing, or what. But that's what the older tanks to me looked like. They had to do it that way. They had to slow down.
Because they'd throw a track otherwise.
Yeah.
Because basically with the tillers, you're applying the brake to one side, and then power is still going to the other track, which is why it turns.
Yeah.
So if you do it too sharply, it throws the track off.
Trying to. Why does this not?
Did you get the hot dog lady? Did you get that video?
Hot dog? No. The massive hot dogs.
She was one smart cookie. She
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
That's
Same tank this way. That's the crowd, fellas. So the way it works here is you saw it kind of the pictures in the back right is where all the tanks stage, and then they've got what's called the arena right here that you've probably heard about. The tanks will come out and they'll kind of drive through. They do a bit of a chicane through there and around the corner, and then they go show center right by you right here, which is cool. They'll stop. The guy is, you can see the little dude kind of sitting right there in the middle of the arena. He'll talk about the tank, give you information, historical data, stuff like that. And they'll stop usually and sit there idling, and then they'll kind of go by. That big building in the background, there's 2 hangars there, and that's the overflow, where they have all kinds of crazy tanks in there. Very cool. They're all stacked in there, so normally not open to the public, but on Tank Fest you can walk through the rows and see and touch all the different tanks back there, which is really cool. The museum itself is back behind you to the left. Great big building there, absolutely fantastic. Well worth a look.
Right there, they always remember you, how you never ever referred to as Stuart. It's worth mentioning.
You guys should be able to hear that. I can't hear it because I don't have it turned up. So we got that one. We got.
There is Salamander observation tower, big one.
Yeah, the observation tower. I'm not doing this the smartest way. I can tell that right now. There's the one.
About 24 pounds, about $30, $35, something like that. But that gets you a day's admission into the museum, and then it's a 1-year ticket, so you can go back any time in that 1 year.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, that's great,
you
yeah.
Present the ticket again, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Stuart. We got. There's the M3 Grant. Very cool, actually. That was really cool. It had a great sound. Honestly, you just got to feel it in that thing. Early World War II days. You know what I mean? I don't know. To some extent, the holes in it sort of match the desperation of the Allies at the time. You know, throwing these stupid things into El Amin and down into what's the battle in the tank battle in the past where the Germans just mauled the Americans.
Oh, the
Kasserine Pass.
Kasserine, yeah.
Kasserine, yeah.
Kasserine, yeah.
Yep. Just freaking, this crazy tank. I know I probably read this, but stuff I was talking about it. The Americans didn't have a turret that would hold the 75 millimeter.
That's right, yeah.
So that's why this thing exists. They put it in that casemate in the what's it called? There's a word for that.
Hole.
Yeah, but there's a word for that type of gun that's in
Oh yes, I know what you mean.
Casement, I guess maybe,
casement,
which is more of a naval kind of idea.
Yeah.
Sponson, there you go. That might be it. Yeah, there you go. But that was because they just didn't have a turret that would, at the moment, they were working on it, but they didn't have a turret that would hold the weapon they needed to take on the German armor. So this is just a what's the word? Contingency tank, really, at the end of the day.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they were so quick and designed. Wasn't it? Well, I mean, everybody, the Allies were playing catch up all the time.
Right.
Yeah, Grendel. Yeah, it's a stopgap type tank.
Stopgap.
They were used in North Africa quite.
Stopgap is a good way to put it. Now check out the smoothness by which the Sherman drives, and this is the Easy 8 that has the modifications. Track modifications. That's not the word. Drivetrain, whatever. I can't think of the damn word right now. But look how smooth this thing is. And it just cruised. It looked like it was flying. Yeah. And honestly, in the game, it plays that way. While it's not super fast, in the game, it turns like it's smooth, right? It just glides along. It drives nicely, and they've actually sort of captured that in the game, in my opinion, anyway, from my knowledge of watching one tank drive around and playing the game. Yeah. Suspension. Thank you, Grendel. That's the word I was trying to find right there. But absolutely. And I have to say, Pilgrim, I always kind of considered you always get this idea that the Sherman's this little dinky tank. It was completely outgunned and everything by the big Tiger and everything. Yes, the Tigers are massive, but these are still big machines too, man.
They are big, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, there's a big lump of metal, especially when you got a 75 mils attached to it.
Yeah.
You know, it was all up armored for that.
But you could see
Yeah.
if you were in a Tiger and you're outnumbered
yeah,
like
yeah.
12-1, which is not an uncommon number. You saw, you know, a dozen of these things plus the infantry support, and you were in a Tiger with a couple of anti-tank guns supporting and a few Wehrmacht troops. You could look at that and go, well, shit, this sucks. You know?
Yeah. Ow, this is going to hurt. I know there was a lot of bald people there, but there was a guy there wearing a German World War II helmet just in the front. And out of all that, all those videos, everything, my son only picked up on the fact there was a guy wearing a German World War II helmet. He didn't notice any of the tanks when he looked at the videos. He went, oh, look at that guy.
Yeah.
Don't you just love it? You get into the character, don't you?
So that was cool. Let's see, where are we now? This one.
HVSS suspension, yeah. I think you're right.
And there it is, fellas. All you Artie fans. The only SPG, and you can't hear it. Maybe you can. I can't because I don't have the sound up. But Pilgrim and I are having a discussion about clickers right there. Came off the red line. Must be the end of the game. He's raging forward. Either he's trying to get the cap, or his team is lost and he's decided to attack.
Or he's running away from the light.
Could be a light tank chasing him. I did not consider that. Good point.
Yeah.
Point well taken. So we got that guy. What else we got? We got this one. Oh, no, that's
Head back to the red line.
he is looking for water. Absolutely. Can't find a place to get out of there. That's the same thing, obviously. What else we got here? This might be the Chaffee. Yep, check out the Chaffee. Watch how smooth the turret turns. Tells you the air attack.
Happy in the games like that. Everything's
Yep.
sort of smooth and just look at it. It just drives nice, doesn't it?
That might be all. Oh, this one's pretty. See how much it slows down? Again, maybe that's driving technique. It's moving it. It's not like anything that very cool.
It's definitely a classic Soviet tank as well, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
The turret is slightly forward. It's got a long back end. It's got, you know, the fuel barrels on the back. It's very much a Soviet tank.
Yep. And those are all my vids, fellas. That's it. There were tons more tanks. We didn't stay for all of the different drive-bys and everything, but it was very interesting. Well worth the trip if you're there the Tank Fest. Otherwise, just go and walk around, and there won't be as many people. But the inside's fantastic.
Hopefully, if you do get over to the UK and you're going to the Tank Museum, hopefully the FV 4005 will still be there. I know they've got more work to do on it. Whether they're going to do it in situ or give it back to the owner, who's continuing the work on the internals. One thing we mentioned last week is that they've got a complete separate gearbox just for reverse gear.
Yeah.
So they have to engage that. They have to disengage the forward gears and then engage the other gearbox to make it go backwards.
Well, it was always a
So-
prototype, wasn't it? It was kludged
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
It was never really a mock-up that was going to be the exact production version. It was just to see if they could get that big of a gun in there. Because it's...
Naval gun.
Yeah, they just decided, you know what? This armor race is irritating us. Let's just get a gun that no armor's ever going to stand up to, you know?
Dear. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, the 4005. It's cool that they got it running, though. Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, Pilgrim, I think we're
that's it, but-
coming to the end of this here particular coffee talk. I appreciate everybody coming by. Odd Dog with a 3-stream streak, thanks man, and Wayne with the resub, much appreciated. Obviously to Low Blow for coming by, and you as well, Pilgrim, and Low Blow, just the laughs, had a
Yeah, no,
fantastic
fun.
time. That'll be a memory for a long, long time right there. They're gonna
Well,
sit.
I'm doing it all next year, so like I said before, I know I understand how much of a a cost basically. Financially, it's a big cost for you guys from the States to come over. So I've set it up to be there, so it's an open invite. If you happen to be in the UK, get your arse down.
Absolutely. If I am, I will certainly
Yeah.
do that. We'll see how it goes.
Absolutely.
Some of it will depend on how much runway
everything.
it takes the daughter to gain altitude.
Bless her, yeah, absolutely.
Because I am basically
Yeah.
we've been looking at it and going through the whole thing, and it's this is not a case of get out of the house, you're on your own. I'm not a big believer in that. It's also not a case of if you stay home and I'll pay for everything. But right now, I'm still investing in the young lady and her career.
Which is the correct thing to do.
Yeah,
really,
so I'm going to be
yeah.
paying for a decent amount of her stuff still. Now, to be fair to her as well, she's now making a salary, which is going to pay for so. But I'm still the disconnect.
It's a juggling. It's a juggling act.
For those of you with younger kids, which most of us are older, I might be actually have some of the youngest kids in this group. But for those of you who may be just starting or have younger kids, realize, and it depends on how your family does this, but I sort of had the idea, and I don't know why. It's because I didn't think about it that hard. But I'm like, oh, when she graduates, she gets a job. What a great
That's
pay!
what I thought.
What a great pay increase that's going to be.
Yeah.
Why did you not tell me?
Well, I should have warned you off 5 years ago, shouldn't I? But
I know why. I know why, because you're the NCO in the back seat.
you've got it. I keep it quiet. I keep it to myself. You've got to learn the hard way, sir.
You do, actually, yeah. Because I probably was told by somebody along the way, and I just didn't listen because I know everything, right?
Dear, oh dear. Hey ho, it never ends. Never ends. I still get it now. I spent a week moving my son to help him move because he failed to book his removals early.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So he's 35. I'm still moving his house for him.
yeah. You're the emergency backstop, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If
You know
all
what
else
though?
fails,
Like,
that's
you wouldn't want it any other way, because here's the sad truth. When you stop being the emergency backstop, it's probably because you're unable.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that they couldn't use the help, but they've come to the realization that now you can't do
Dad
it.
can't do it. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't-
start to get. Sorry, go on.
No, I say it because you're going to say the same thing I'm going to
Well,
say.
you start to get care home pamphlets delivered to you by your children. Hey, have you seen this care home, Dad? It looks nice. What do you think? I ain't
Yeah,
going
there's
there yet.
it's like the last time you picked your kid up and carried him around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's the last time you're the backstop and they
Yeah.
become the backstop somewhere along there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So absolutely happy to do it, man.
Obru got payback. Good on you, Obru.
There you go. Well, okay, so all right. So Brute's given me a little bit of maybe there's a transition period.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a transition period because his kids are a bit older than mine, I guess. Alamander, absolutely. She gets it. Fantastic kid. Both of mine are fantastic kids, and they both get it. And I'm glad to do it, man. This is this is team, family here. I am of the opinion, and my efforts have been. We'll see how they come out because there's always intentions and actual reality of how it rolls out. But the intention here is to help this family build some bit of generational wealth that is able to be passed on. And I'm not talking about bazillions of dollars. I'm talking about trying to me and the wife having as good a life as we can, providing as good a life to them as we can, enjoying our retirement, but at the same time dropping a helpful amount of, maybe not life-changing, potentially you might think about it at that time, but a very helpful amount of money to both of them and their families.
Absolutely.
So that hopefully, God willing, and all
Well,
the different things in life that happen, that they can do the same.
It's not just about providing for your children, and I think when you get older, you realise it's about providing help to your grandchildren and future generations. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Because your kids at 35 should be set up mostly.
I
You
mean,
know, so
somewhere along the way, there's this narrative that, and I know it happens in families. There's a lot of reasons why, but there seems to be this prevailing narrative of get your kids out the door and go enjoy your life. And I'm like, what?
Grandkids.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, hold on a minute, what? And then the scoffing of, oh, you're still living at home. Like, well, in a given situation, if that has to happen, fine.
Absolutely.
Now, yes, it's living in the basement till you're 39 and doing
Thank
nothing,
Yeah.
then yeah, that's a problem. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the reality of economic situations. And if your kid has to live in the house and you have to work as a team, then you freaking do it, you know?
Yeah, of course you do. I mean, I enjoy, and to be honest, over the years, I haven't had a great input into the family because I've always been away. So Jan and has basically brought the kids up 100%. But I enjoy the time with my kids now because they're adults.
Right. Well, that's a
So
male
I can
thing,
have
isn't
an
it?
adult conversation.
Yeah, that's
you know?
definitely a male thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I just couldn't do the nappy thing.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Great. All good advice, and that's what we're doing. I told her, I said, look, you have, and it's not a hard and fast thing, but I said, right now I'm given 6 months of runway. I'm going to hold on to these things I pay for.
Yeah.
We're going to keep doing that. You're going to take your check. You are going to pay for the rent, and then you're going to start doing things like buying your own food and figuring out your costs. And I will help you. I'll keep a spreadsheet. We'll talk about it. We'll figure out what we got. In 6 months, we'll reattack. We'll look at how you're doing, and then reassess whether I continue to do this or you need more runway or what you need.
Sure.
And start to figure it out. You know, and in today's corporate world, you know, people don't tend to stay with the same companies forever. And while I'm not telling her to get there and immediately start looking for a new job, and she gets this because they get a lot of this information at school these days, and it's the way that all of their contemporary now for her professionals as she's moving into that world
Yeah.
kind of operate. They do tend to move from business to business.
It's and also that's how you get your wage increases because
Sure.
you will be headhunted by other companies, you know, and
Right.
they will offer you that X amount of dollars extra to move across, or
Yeah.
maybe a perk like a free car or something. Or
Exactly, and I told her, look, let's not put the cart ahead of the horse. You haven't proven jack to anybody about anything. Nobody knows how you're going to work in this business. I personally am on Team You, and believe you're going to be great, but I don't know. And that's not to tell her, oh, you're not going to make it or whatever. But
reality.
be realistic. Let's see how you perform and what your opportunities are, and then we go from there. You know, be realistic about
Absolutely,
all of that kind of
absolutely.
stuff. So.
Yeah.
And even the fact that she's going to be able to just do the rent, you know, because I was paying rent. I am currently paying for 2 apartments and a house.
I feel your pain, brother, because I've been there. You know,
And I've
like,
got,
how am I doing this?
yeah. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, your Starbucks obsession may need to take a bit of a dial
Yeah.
back. No, it's all good, man.
You need to wind in the coffee.
Yeah, it's exciting and awesome,
Right.
and you know, we got her set up. I think the apartment, we got it. I think I will say, and I've tracked this in the news and the current situation, but it never really affected me till now. The apartments are expensive, but she's in a relatively low rent area in terms of the city, Tallahassee. It's not a super high requirement for wife's sleeping waving there. You know, in the past, at least in America, it was the standard was your rent should be no more than about 33, about a third of your income.
Yeah.
Is that about the
Third of
same
your
for you
income,
guys?
yeah.
That's kind of a general idea.
Yeah, that was the back in the day.
Bro, it's not. That's not it anymore, man. It's
no,
50.
No.
So it's
It
still
is
recommended 30, and if you go to an apartment, you have to show that you have 3 times
Yeah.
your monthly income is
Yeah.
3 times the rent. Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not bad, Alamander, and I will say that I am helping her because I'm putting her in, helping her get into an apartment that's probably slightly above her income range, because the apartments that are in her income range are no offense to Tallahassee, but there's some dangerous parts of it. It's not the best.
Well, it's like any city, and it may you can get cheap as chips, but it means you put up with murders and shootings and gunfights all day long, isn't it?
And Tallahassee is not. It's an interesting place. I don't hate it. There's some parts of it I really like. So I am supplementing her income a little bit to help her, or helping her a little bit more than I would necessarily, to get her into a place.
Quite right.
So the upshot of all that is, I am renting another apartment.
Yes.
Because she doesn't have the history to do it. Like, you have to have a either you who's renting it or whatever. You have to be a guarantor. But even as a guarantor, so essentially I'm the renter, and she's living there.
That's. I mean, I remember doing that with my son for his first car. Basically, he didn't have any history, so he couldn't get finance for the motor for the car. So I actually had to get the finance, and he paid me. So, so he got a interest-free loan off his old man.
There you go. And that's kind of what's going on, right? You're investing in your kid. Alamander, yes, it's about that. Hers is going to be about 15, but that's before electricity, internet.
That's crazy.
Internet,
That's
and
crazy
right, a
money.
single bedroom in Tallahassee.
Creepers.
Now,
man.
again, it's a I'm not gonna say it's a top end, but it's a better place, I guess. Gated, all that kind of stuff for safety, because she's a girl going to be living alone, all that kind of stuff. But yes, $1,600 is about what we're going to end up paying plus.
Jesus.
And her
That is
total,
so expensive.
yeah, her take home is $2,800. That's it. A month.
Oh man, that is just crazy, isn't it? Imagine trying to manage that on your own. That is just, you just couldn't do it, could you?
Yeah.
Just couldn't do it.
So we have to get her. She's had a credit card for a while that I helped her get, and she's been building up her credit and all that good stuff. So after about a year, I'm hoping we can go back in there and swap it out, make her the primary. Then I'll be the actual guarantor, and then it'll be in her name, and then she'll be building more credit in terms of rental. But right now, they're not going to rent it to her just off the street.
No, that's understandable to the people who are renting it. They want bona fides, don't they? They want 100% proof and guarantee, if you like, that.
Gator, that's a fantastic idea. It is in the back of my mind right now. What's stopping me is, again, single girl, and her ability to take care of a house is going to be much less. Like if it was my son, I would entertain that much more. We may get to that, especially if we have potentially roommates or things, because a roommate changes the calculus considerably, provided you get the right person.
Yeah.
A 2-bedroom in the same place goes from like $1,500 to 16 or 17, and then you split that in half, which is a massive savings.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's what my daughter did. She had a roommate.
Yeah.
They went in together, and so their costs were, I want to say they were about £500 each, about $600 each.
I mean, that's all the difference
So,
in the world. You're
big-
talking
big deal.
Yeah, you're talking a $1,600 rental
Yeah.
split by 2 goes from 16
Yeah,
to 8. That's 800 extra
yeah.
for the person a month. I mean, you can't even.
Yeah.
That's what she's on the lookout for, and that's part of the 6 months runway I was talking about. It's only a 10-month lease, so that's good. So hopefully by the end of the 10-month lease, she's found somebody to move in with, chop that cost, and now we're really cooking with fire here.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and upkeep, Alamander. I've owned a couple rental properties in my life. I don't currently have one. It was great, but at the same time, it was a massive pain. And sometimes you lose money that month, especially if you don't own it outright, if you're still paying a mortgage on it. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna let you go, Leon. I got to get going anyway. It's we've been at it for quite a while. That was a nice little talk about life and stuff. That was good stuff, fellas. Much appreciated. Thank you for the advice down there. All good points. And I think that's it. Let's go find somebody to raid here, fellas.
Somebody who's out of bed, preferably.
Somebody's not what? Somebody's not in bed.
Somebody who's not in bed, yeah, preferably.
Geez, one of
Well,
these.
I hope it goes well, O'Brute.
One of these guys, yeah. All right, O'Brute, let me know when you're up and running again. I'm a little bit worried you're going to come back up online with your DCS stuff, and my headset's going to kanks. My HP Reverb's going to turn. I haven't looked that up lately. Anybody know? Are they still planning on bricking that thing? I don't know what the current word on that is. Let's see. Who are we going to go for here? The Napalmer. That's the guy. We're gonna raid the Napalmer. Yeah, we got it. Absolutely.
Oh dear.
Let's see here. The was underscore Napalmer. No. Was it not underscore? I hate it when I do that. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. Where is his name? Sometimes they log off right as I try to do this. Not seeing him again. Now he's gone. Oh my goodness. Did he actually drop? No. No, there's no space. No space. All right. The capital, because you got to have that right. Napalmer. There he is. All right, fellas. Cheers, Alamander. Thanks, everybody, for coming by. Thanks for the follows, subs, all that good stuff. I know I've said this a lot of Sundays. My wife is out helping somebody. Depending on how my content creation goes, because I have to get a couple videos ready for next week, I might be on a little bit later and do some streaming since I didn't get any of that done this week. So the chances today are higher than normal. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
We're going to raid here in 5. All right. All that being said, Guido signing off from the left side Atlantic.
Pilgrim signing off from the correct side of the Atlantic. See you next Sunday.
Later, guys.